It's that Logic flow, baby. That Logic Pro flow. What you know about them star eyes? Hey, what you know about those star eyes? You probably know that. Sing it with me. You know it. And if you don't know, you're about to know. Star eyes. Hey, I wish I could sing like some people that I know. I like to break down. Hey, watch this. I'm gonna play a little bit for you, especially if you're hanging out with me over here on Facebook. What up, people? Star eyes, star eyes, star eyes. I'm gonna play a little on keys. Have a little fun. I'm gonna take this piano out right. Yeah. Load up a piano. Hey. I got one more chorus for y'all. I gotta play that a little bit more. So what is this? This is Star Eyes. Let me tell you about those star eyes. I see it in your eyes, and there's no surprise, no lie, cause I wake up aiming for the prize. No drive every day, doing it this way and that way. Doesn't matter the vocabulary, just spreads the spans of time. Whether I'm walking a mile with you or spitting a rhyme, it's time to just wake your ass up. Why? It's time to give life the uppercut one more time. Doing it the best. Sublime, sublime, sublime. But yet, right out in the open. Cause you already flowing. Just by waking up this morning. And I seeing the sun shine dawning. Hey, don't play. Cause I know that you're saying the same thing this way, or wouldn't have brought you this way. So I just say, hey, good morning to you, and you, and you, and you, and you too. What up, people? As always, thanks for coming through. I see my peeps in the audience, which is really kind of crazy. Because when I think about this telephone thing and this Clubhouse thing, it's interesting. Isn't it interesting how in the 90s, we had this thing called three-way calling. And we were like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me I could talk to more than just one person at a time? What? And we advanced forward in time and in history. And then here we are again, having the opportunity to partake with each other in time in this thing called life, from wherever we are, from near, from far. All I'm saying is I see those stars in your eyes. I see the stars in your eyes. Hey, I see the stars in the eyes. I wish I could put an emoji on here. Like, we gotta tell Clubhouse, give us real-time emojis so I could put just the star eyes emoji. Like, hey. So this is Star Eyes, the jazz standard. And what I'm doing and what I have done is I'm taking the standard and I'm raising it up in the form of soulful jazz tracks. From 2007 to 2014, my life went from 0 to 6 figures with a company called Fruition Music. It would be a birthing into fruition, another level of myself. All I would do is take where I started, which was playing around with beats and samples and shapes and rhythms and tempos and dynamics. Finding myself at 14 in the studio with my friends, just hanging out, taking my sense of poetry and wordplay, which was played on and supported by my mom, who told me I was good at poetry, which led me to be a lyricist. And I would find my productive ass in the studio with my 14-year-old friends making music, writing lyrics, building this brain even though I didn't know it yet. I have a line in a rhyme that I wrote when I was 18. In fact, I'll give it to you from the top. It's like, every day around my way, it's just like any other day. The way I move, love, yesterday's the way I move my day. It shows me the way to walk the narrow path. And yeah, the jealous laugh, but we moving through the battle fast. Can I get a rim shot? Hey, it's all about the song you sing and what you say. This lyricist is gone with the wind, I keep the hope when all of this is gone in the end, right? And ever since the music got me open, not knowing that my true colors were showing, flowing unbelievable. These lyrics, they passing through my blood, and if you know the world needs more love, then raise your hand and come to the stage and let your problems flow by. Okay, so the lyric that I wanted y'all to hear was the part where I was saying, unknowingly, the music was flowing. This lyricist was gone with the wind. I was gone with the wind. I was on another level. And it was all because of my mom. So that's how I find myself. That's how I found you. That's how you found me. That's how we have found we. 2007 to 14, I built a company called Fruition Music. It was during my times in the gospel industry, or as some people would say, when I used to play in church, which was probably the best stage and the best type of opportunity and the best kind of environment that I could have been in after being that 14-year-old kid who would go from a lyricist to a hip-hop producer and then get so interested in music that he would teach himself how to read and then decide, wait a minute, I want to actually make my hip-hop tracks even better because I'm getting a whole lot of accolades. If I could do this well just by playing music by ear, what would happen if I actually learned? What would happen if I actually applied myself and got an education? And that would take me from that age of 16 to teaching myself how to read music at 17 and then finding my way to the piano at 18. But I wouldn't start playing professionally until 21. But because of the discipline from my childhood with mom and the education and exposure and the opportunity at 21 to make $100 more a week than I was at my auto parts job, with 30 less hours that I could then put into that thing called the organ. Hey, I ain't arguing with you. I'm just telling you the truth about what it is. It's interesting that kid would find himself from a lyricist to a hip-hop producer to a pianist and then an organist. And then I would enter the gospel industry and notice something, that there were more places, more churches, more groups and soloists that needed music, like good music and musicians, than there were musicians, or at least skilled musicians. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I could clone myself before the rest of the world finds out that it's not that bad. And what that came in the form of is me saying, wait a minute, I'm going to take my hip hop production skills and now I'm going to put it with this new skill of understanding live music and reverse engineering after coming out of school for audio engineering. And I would start banging out track after track after track after track after track after track of soulful backing tracks for the gospel industry. It would turn into a global business, 0 to 6 figures, like I said, in 4 years. It would wind up being one of the number one sources on the planet for accompaniment. And then things changed. But things did really change though. And so that musician continued to build. It took him out of the churches, not only mentally, but also physically. And he will move to other levels to then build something even bigger. Aaron Hill. And then continuing on, building myself into this improvisational musician, this, as they say, jazz musician. I took 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 versions of myself and I put it out there, and it still reflects to this day. Hey, to everybody who is touched by Fruition Music and all that I've been able to do, along with some good secret weapon friends called Love, Peace, and a Good Mind, and some other peeps too. And so I've now advanced that forward to creating soulful jazz tracks. I'm about to do the same thing I did in the gospel industry, but now in the jazz industry, where I make thousands of tracks that are soulful backing tracks, unlike anything on the planet Earth. And it will service the niche, and it will service the market in the same way that those gospel tracks did and continue to do every single day. Yes. And so that's what this is. I just made this track last night. Hey, Star Eyes. And this weekend, I'll be recording with Clarence Ward III. He'll be blazing his flugelhorn on top of this here track. Might even see if Micah could sneak by the studio Saturday between 2 and 4 if you happen to see him around. And, it could be a fun time. And I want to introduce him to Patrick anyway of Dream Launch Studios. And yeah. Hopefully I've influenced him enough to come. But I'll be recording this, and then I'll be putting out this track for the world, for every jazz musician, every boy, every girl, and everybody, period. Because, you got to cover everybody these days. You got to make sure. I'm still learning, y'all. In fact, I got a book here that's next to me. It's called Sexuality, a Graphic Guide. And it teaches everything there is to know about how we've ever looked at sexuality, one page at a time. It's very interesting. I'm going to read a page today, and more than likely, it's going to unfold into a conversation, as everything does here in this experience. So my family, hey, I would love to talk to you. I would love to say what's up to your beautiful face. Today is a special day for a number of reasons. Number one, I get the opportunity to know myself in a deeper way by doing exactly what I'm doing. And then number two, I get to check in with some good people, my people, you, yes, you know. as well as I get a chance to meet some people for the first time. Oh my goodness, at least in this kind of rhyme and reason, in the ways of hearing the voice. I get to meet my mentor, someone who I've never met a day in my life, but who's had the biggest impact on my Hammond organ B3 playing and my musicianship and the way I play melodies. Like literally the way I play melodies has been heavily influenced by this man that's in my presence, who I get a chance to meet for the first time today. And you do too, which is why I say, hey you, thank you so much for coming through. Hey, if you'd like to come to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave. I'd love to say hey to your beautiful face, to check in, see how you're doing as we continue with this beautiful morning. Star eyes, hey, those star eyes. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, so I ain't even gonna try, but yeah. Micah, do you know that? Do you know star eyes, bro? Like, cause we gotta get you blazing this ASAP. Dawn, Eunice, Curious, Circa, Micah, hey, Ralph, Keisha, Micah Smith, my homie is coming on through, so I could say what's up.
I don't know Star Eyes at all, man.
Just
enjoying the show, my brother. So good to hear your voice. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you, broski. I'm so glad you don't know Star Eyes, because what that means now is that this soulful beat, this soulful jazz track, is it soulful, bro? I just made it last night, bro. Is it soulful? Does it feel good, bro?
It feels good, man. You know.
Hey.
Huge Fruition music fan. Scott's calling me. I'm gonna have to hit him back real quick.
Oh, dope. Dope.
You know where I'm. You know what I mean. So I'm gonna call him right back and hit you in a second.
Yo, please tell him I said hello, bro, and tell him I said big love. Tell him I said I love him, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, family. Oh my goodness. By all means, I love to say hey. So if you let it come through, throw up a wave. And if not, because I'm just helping you to take over your morning, so far at least, hey, that's all good. I say thank you so much for coming through. And to my family that's hanging out over here on Facebook, aka the Book of Face, I don't see you yet because I am currently typing in my browser right now, facebook.com, so that I can come over to say hi. And it's getting weirder and weirder by the damn day. As you will see in a few minutes, because over here in Clubhouse, I get a chance to not only see you by seeing not your video, because that's the beautiful part about it. It's no video. It's no video. You can just chill. You can just be in a bed, cold all in your eyes, and you're all right. You can be fresh on the show. But the fact that there's no video and the fact that you'll get a chance to hear me just hanging out with people on the phone, hearing their voice, is why it's getting weirder to do this. Okay, so let's see here. I'm on Facebook. Let me navigate to my profile page and then scroll down and then look and see who typed the first comment, and then try to decipher whether their exclamation point meant because they were mad at me or because they were happy and they misspelled the word, which is okay, but because I don't care about that, like no joke. But I can't actually tell what come on over to Clubhouse, family. If you're on Facebook, come over to Clubhouse. Download the Clubhouse app. It's just an audio chat app, which is taking telephone and put it on the map in a whole new way. I call it Telephone 2.0, and you'll see why. Because you get a chance to just hang out with people and see, based on the topics, the conversations, like what people talking about, what they're hanging out about. And then like three-way call, and you can just drop in on the call, listen in, or participate and partake. Hey, so download Clubhouse audio chat app, put yourself on the map, and then come over here and see me at Aaron Hill TV. Just look for me at Aaron Hill TV. Hey. All right, so I see Brother Ralph is coming to the stage. All right. So, as I bring my brother and friend and mentor to the stage, I just got a few more rambling moments, yes. Now, I just want to say, before I get a chance to hear the voice of a man who has no idea, but maybe is about to find out with just how I'm ready to pour and just share, I just like to say that it is an absolute pleasure to have someone who has no idea how much they impacted my life, not just my music. How they impacted my right hand as far as how I sing a melody or say a melody, and in turn impacted my words as far as thinking about the same thing. Because what you do musically, you do in life. Someone who has taught me how something as simple on the Hammond B3 organ as the first 4 drawbars pulled out and then the last one pulled out for sizzle, and how that could take you from these real big and beautiful pretty chords that you play with multiple fingers to when you narrow it down to one melody, now all of a sudden it just shrinks down to this beautiful singing melody and you can go back and forth with ease. Someone who taught me, without knowing it, how many different ways you could sing a melody and approach the notes from a melody with just the articulation of your fingers. Someone who taught me that the organ, although you can make it real dirty and gritty, and that's honestly why, and this is no shade, but for some people that don't have as much like skill as far as their fingers or dexterity, the organ, you can get away with things because you can smear. It's meant to be dirty and gritty and kind of raw. But in turn, this person here also showed me how you could make it just sound real pretty and crisp through the way you play it in their settings. How to leave space, how to let it, man, I could go on and on and on. And I'm about to. Because I'm about to bring to the stage Mr. Ralph Lofton, a just wonderful human being and someone who is a legend in history and who has performed and played and produced for some of the biggest names that you know in the music industry today. All right, so with that, family, bringing Mr. Ralph to the stage. Micah, do you know Ralph? Have you ever met him before? The Ralph Lofton.
I'm not sure, bro.
All right. Well, you're about to find out. Brother Lofton just gave you the invite, so by all means, once you hit that accept, then we will hear your beautiful voice. Yes, family. And I thank you so much for hanging out in this experience. My friend, Mr. Ralph Lofton. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Aaron. How are you, my brother?
I am better now that I've heard your voice for the first time in life.
Bless your heart, man. It is a pleasure to be here and share with you, and I thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, the other day I got I got chastised the other day for how much I just gave a person their flowers. It was a 12-year-old kid, and I think you probably saw my advertisements on social media. December 26th, I had a 12-year-old kid, amazing prodigy and drummer, Noah K. And when I did the show, I gave him an introduction. I just wanted to talk to him. And, you know, a lot of people were like, you went on and on about him. I was like, I'm sorry. It's just that the kid spoke to my heart so deeply. So that's how I feel about you. Hence the long introduction.
I so appreciate that. And I did love the way you described, gave an in-depth description of the Hammond.
Wow.
And you couldn't have said it any better.
So it's so interesting because, again, you know, you and I, again, for the record, for everybody, you know, we have never spoken in person in life. Now, you know, I've had the fortunate opportunity to have him grace my presence on social media, because he follows me on social media, and we, from time to time, he might drop a line. But the thing is, everything that you're just saying that I just said about it is so interesting, because I learned a lot of it from you just by listening to you. Like, just by listening to you and just hearing your voice. When I was in college, so I didn't get a performance degree. I went to school for music. At 21 or around 18, I got into some basic classes. And then at some point, I realized that I wanted to go to school for audio engineering, because I wanted to have a quote unquote plan B. I wanted to make sure that I had some stability. And so, when I did that, I decided to start going, and I went to community college, and my jazz teacher, who was my private tutor, for only 2 semesters. I only had 2 semesters of jazz, and the rest of jazz I learned on my own.
Mm-hmm.
His number one thing to me, and he used to say it this way, he was from Ghana, and he used to say, "Alan, you just have to listen. You just have to listen." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I know that, but I already know how to play, because I've been playing, I got these gospel chords, and I can play and all these things. I just wanted you to show me how these runs are. Show me how to use these runs." He was like, "Alan, you just have to listen." And I was like, okay. And so he would continue to repeat that line, and I would continue to listen to him. And what it brought me to was understanding that the best way to learn music, in addition to having an actual mentor and someone to guide you and to help you through the trials and the errors and, the ins and out, was to listen as closely as you could to how someone spoke or taught or played when it came to their music.
Right.
And that's what happened with me in 2006, when I was exposed to your music. And I'm going to tell you what that was like. So at this point in 2006, I'd been playing in church for 4 years at that point. And I was 24, 25. And I started playing the piano at 21. And so at 25, at this point, I got the production skills, because I started off never intending on playing the piano. My only goal was to make my hip hop tracks better. And then I was in church. I was in the type of church where they were like, "Well, you got to do something," and they tried to push me to be a minister. And I tried it, and it wasn't quite for me. And I was like, but that music thing, I could minister that way.
Right, exactly.
And when I sat there, I learned so much about the experience, the environment, and really what was happening in the midst of this service, especially as far as how the music was leading a lot of the emotions and being the part that played the biggest factor when it comes to what the people felt. And then my ears also opened up as far as harmony and melody and these other things. I heard the same things that I heard in hip hop in gospel. And the fact that I was listening to a different genre of music every day, because the way that I made music was to listen to a different genre of music every day and make my music out of that: opera, jazz, blues, gospel. So by the time I got here, at 24, I'm sitting in my living room. It's 2006. And at this point, I know that with my skills of playing the organ and being able to teach choirs and all those kind of things, and being a producer and engineer, I could go the route of trying to connect with a famous artist and become their producer or their engineer, or either their musician on tour and that kind of thing. Or I could do the other route of opening up a studio and people come through, and for 25, 30, $40 an hour, we could do that route. I knew how to do it all, but none of it spoke to me. It didn't speak to my heart. It didn't speak to my heart. But what did speak to my heart was that I was becoming more and more interested, because I had a grip on gospel and hip hop and neo soul and R&B. Now I was becoming more interested in jazz. And the first type of jazz that was accessible to me was smooth jazz. And since I was in gospel, the smooth jazz of gospel was gospel jazz. In the field of gospel jazz at that point in 2006, I mean, there's not that many players, but there are the quiet time players. A group who I feel is the greatest is and was the greatest gospel jazz group that ever existed.
Wow.
And I feel that with every aspect of my heart. I mean, the team, the team, the team, Ralph Lofton on organ, Derek, Derek, what is Derek's last name?
Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson on piano, Donald Hayes on saxophone, Jonathan DuBose on guitar, and the
Right.
Baker brothers, Simeon
Yeah.
and Terry Baker on bass and drums. This was the cleanest group that I had ever heard in my life in gospel. One of the cleanest groups. And to this day, to me, is the cleanest gospel jazz I've ever heard.
Wow.
The arrangements. Go ahead, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
it was definitely a great experience of fortunate for me being able to pick those guys.
Yeah. Mm,
That's how it came about
really?
from the A&R director at the time over the record company when he was trying to put this thing together, and came to me, and that was my response to him. I'd
Wow.
love to do it. I know the perfect musicians that would make it work.
Wow. Oh my
And
goodness. Oh my
we,
goodness.
as they say, we got on the horn and
Wow.
got everybody together. Everybody was in agreement. And one name you missed out on, which
Uh-huh.
also was included, was Al Willis out of
Al
Chicago.
Willis on guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
most of the ones that I did of that project, Al played guitar on the majority of my stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Oh
that
man.
these were guys that had the understanding, the concept
Right.
of knowing how to be a team player
Right. Right.
and knowing their place as a
Right.
musician,
Oh yes.
and knowing how to contribute
Yes.
musically
Yes.
to everybody being a solo act, but
Right.
also knowing how to be a group.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yes. Knowing how to be a solo act, but also a group. Knowing how to be a leader or a follower. Knowing how to
Right.
be able to have that balance, to know where your place is and contribute. You know, since even like connecting with that group, the Quiet Time Players, um, during the Harborwood Records recordings. Like this to me, to be honest, is like, and I actually, now I'm thinking about something. My mind is like bubbling in the moment. Like I want to be a part of a documentary of the Quiet Time Players because I really feel like the Quiet Times Players is, like I said, one of the most not only legendary, but because I believe that the way that you play musically is a reflection of who you are personally.
Right.
It to me is one of the greatest stories untold at this point. You know, like this is how you know when you're, as they say, a fanboy and someone who a music really speaks to. You know, I did the
Right.
research. You know, I did the research. I read into the articles where I found out that the Reflection series, for everyone that doesn't know, the Reflection series is, you know, what Mr. Lofton was just talking about here, you know, around how each person, I mean, this is so crazy to find out that you were the orchestrator of this. Like, it's great. It takes it to another level for me. But to think about the fact that each person, like you said, they knew how to be able to hold their own in balance. They had a level of maturity, and they were
Right.
seasoned. That was a reflection of where they were as far as people in life as well, which is why I spoke
Hmm.
through the music. So for everyone here, that led to them recording a series where each instrument would be the lead. So but the rest of the cast would still be the same. So
Right.
one Reflections album would be Ralph Lofton on organ as far as lead, and then you had everyone else was the supporting. The saxophone player would come to the front. The next album, the pianist would come to the front. The next album, the guitar, and it was an amazing collection. And you can still find this. In fact, what I'm going to do while we're here is I'm going to actually pin a link to the top of the screen in a few minutes. We're going to find the link for Reflections and just Quiet Times period for information. But the point is that these albums became these collages of different gospel tunes and covered by this group. The arrangements are amazing. They are so clean and beautiful. And everybody has this balance and this harmony to them where it's like the perfect set of friends just dancing in harmony. And that's what it felt like. So it really makes sense to me that you would say that it was because it was a birthing in your mind, connected with Harborwood, connected with the record company, and then you would put these people together based on their characteristics. Wow.
Right. And it definitely was a joy in the studio recording.
Right.
And one thing that a lot of people don't know about that process was within a 10-day period, we recorded about 50 songs.
Wow.
Within a 7-day period.
Oh my gosh.
And that was because, like one thing you mentioned, discipline.
Yes.
With everybody coming in, having an understanding of knowing what their arrangements were going to be.
Right.
And preparation.
Right.
And being able to understand each other as individuals.
Right.
But again, being able to come together as a group and make everything work
together, right?
Everybody was in understanding of how each other's process and production was going to work.
Right. When I tell you, I felt every bit of that come through the recording, and even if I never had this experience, I would know intuitively what you just said. See, there's something that happens not only when musicians get together and in a 10-hour span record 50 songs. Did you say 10-hour or 10 days?
10 days.
10 days. Within a 10-day span, record 50 songs. But when friends spend that much time together, the bonding and the love and the understanding and the harmony and the growth, especially when you're working together as a village, a team, or community, is out of this world.
Right.
And it makes sense to me not only why those recordings shined for me in that way, and all of that goodness reached me even without having these stories, but it also expresses to me why on a deeper level it even connects with me, because that's the kind of person that I am.
Right. It's all about creativity, all about understanding you personally, understanding your instrument.
Yes.
One of the things that I always rely on is, I said it not too long ago in a post.
Yeah.
I can sing, but I'm not a singer.
I say the same thing. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I know how to sing. I can actually teach you how to sing.
Right.
But I would not consider myself to be, quote, unquote, quote, a singer, unquote.
Right.
But what I do is, as understanding singing, is I take my instrument and apply that as it being my voice.
Yes.
So I play as if I would be able to sing.
As if I would be able to sing. Yes.
And knowing breathing technique and that type of thing, I play it as if I'm doing my breathing process while I'm singing.
Yes.
I play it with what my heart says.
Yes.
And speaking of heart, my new heart.
Your new heart.
Because, I am a 4-year heart transplant recipient now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So thank God for that, and thank God for still being alive and being a vessel.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you,
and
I understand
also
this.
to add, we with all of that, it has put me in a place of continuing to be a solo artist, solo instrumentalist, and I've gone on even from that to be able to produce and put out some of my own solo projects.
That's what I'm talking about. I tell you, I'm excited about the solo projects. I'm excited about the the heart, the heart, the heart.
Yeah, man.
I tell you,
That's that's what God has done.
mm-mm-mm. 4 years.
Yep. In November 2021, it was 4 years. Uh, thank God for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
You probably see her on that Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes. Hey, hey. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I was just about to mention her name. Hey,
yeah,
hey, Keisha.
Alicia is my baby, and
Mm-mm-mm.
she is the other part of my heart.
Yes.
And thank God for her. Uh,
Mm-mm-mm.
she not only is my wife, but we are known as Team Lofton,
Yes.
and
Team Lofton.
yeah, we operate as a team in
Mm-mm-mm.
everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
We work together on all aspects of life,
Yes.
and I just thank God for her.
Mm-mm-mm.
But we do coming up this Monday, the 10th,
Mm-hmm.
releasing a new single
Yes, yes.
that's coming out, and the title of the single is called "Let Me Love You."
Let me love you.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
and put together a great team of musical artists
Mm-hmm.
that are working with me on this song, starting with Marcus Finney on drums,
Mm. Wow.
Victor Caldwell on bass,
Mm.
Al Willis on
Al
guitar,
Willis. Oh my goodness.
and Kirk Whalum on sax.
Oh my goodness. Kirk
And
Whalum.
I did everything else. And
Mm.
I'm telling you, man, I think this song is I want to say uh, probably one of the best pieces of work that I've done in a while.
Wow.
And every time I've been listening to it
Yes.
and it's excited about how it turned out,
Yes.
it bobs, it makes me
Mm.
bob my head
Yes.
and
Do a
shaking my
dance,
tail.
right?
Yeah. When I say when it does that, I always say I'm never, to the understanding of really knowing what a hit is,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like this could possibly be one.
I love it. Let me tell you something. I know it is, and I feel like I'm contributing to that process by celebrating it, by knowing it, and also by sharing something with you that was laid on my heart while we've been here speaking. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think that the next project that you do should be a hymns project that is a solo project, and all it is are just hymns that have the word heart in it. Like, give me a
Huh,
clean heart, speak to my
right,
heart. You
right.
know, I was trying to find, and this is funny because Google usually has everything in store, and I was like, I typed in hymns with the word heart in it while you were speaking, and
Hmm.
it didn't come up as a search result, and I was thinking about like, all right, I know enough hymns, I know. I think that that should be because as a survivor, as a thriver, as a person, as one who, you know, when we say things like, give me a clean heart, or when we just think about, like, okay, I want to do this from my heart, it means one thing. It means a
Right,
completely different thing for you.
right.
And so, with what I know being, with both of us being artists, what I know is that when we come from that place musically, when we come from that place mentally, I'm sorry, when we're in a particular space and we come from that place musically, what comes out is otherworldly. And I think because of what the word heart means for you now, on a
Hmm.
whole new way, I think that submerging yourself into the mindset of heart songs and
Yeah.
and solo, so we can just purely hear your heart with nothing else,
Hmm.
I think would be life changing.
I agree. I agree.
Mm,
Now, I did
mm-mm.
put out last year also. a piano project.
Yes, let's talk. Mm-hmm.
Which was titled "From My Heart to Yours."
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
And
That's what I'm
for
talking about.
those that for those have
Synchronicity.
not seen it, look it up. It's on all of the digital platforms,
I'm gonna do
and
you
it's
one
titled.
better. I'm gonna do you one better. I'm actually gonna put it right above our heads in a few seconds, which is one of the reasons why I love this app. All right, tell me exactly where to go. And I want to say to everyone here, I want to do a quick reset and say hello, family. Hello, 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 hello. It's good to see you. It's good to hear your voice. And I don't just say that now at all in any kind of colloquial sense. It's also good to see your face. And as I was saying earlier, to see your star eyes. I'm here with someone who has been a mentor to me longer than he has had the ability to know, because we didn't get a chance to have this conversation until today. Right time, right place. His name is Mr. Ralph Lofton. So much to talk about, so much to share, so much that I want you to even connect with as far as meeting with him and sharing, and him meeting the AP Morning family, accountability partners we are. And so before we go a bit further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share what Mr. Lofton is talking about. If you did not hear earlier, because you were not here, 4 years, new heart. I'm just going to leave it at that. The rest is going to be told by the story that continues further. The project, what was the name of the project again, Ralph? And if you hit your microphone in the bottom right corner, it'll unmute you. And I think you said it was From My Heart to Yours, I believe. So if you're talking, we can't hear you, and it would just be because your mic is muted in the bottom right corner. If you hit that, then it'll unmute you and we'll hear your voice. So I'm going to actually pull this up while... and hey, Keisha, his beautiful wife, Keisha, is here. I also want to invite you to the stage as well, Keisha. And for everyone else here, I want you to meet Mr. Lofton. What I'm going to do, and I can't wait to share, is I'm going to share this link and I'm going to play for you the first recording that I heard from Mr. Lofton, and what changed my life, and is part of the reason of my success, not only as a Hammond B3 organist, but as a thinker when it comes to arranging and the way that I play and how I produce my tracks. The group that he was in, the Quiet Time Players, and the one that we're talking about now, has a lot to do with the foundation of how I construct my tracks and my approach. And I'll let you hear some of that in a bit too. So I'm going to play that song and we're going to continue on. If you want to come back to the stage, I see you coming back up. And Keisha, I would love to say, hey, if you'd like to come to the stage, throw up a wave, hit the little wavy hand button. And by all means, I have got to say hello to Mr. Lofton's other half, the other half of his heart. So by all means, come to the stage. And if not, if you're just hanging out, by all means, we will be here and you are welcome to just listen in if you like. All right, I see you back.
Yeah, I got back in.
All right.
Yeah, it was titled "From My Heart to Yours."
From my heart to yours. Okay, perfect. So for everyone, let's see, from my heart. I'm typing this in my phone right now, and I'm going to pin it above our heads. From my heart.
And also, too, let me just add, my wife she's on, but she's not really feeling well.
Oh.
But she didn't want to miss this, so that's why she's just kind of laying and relaxing.
Love it. Well, I hope that this experience makes you feel a little bit better. And please get well soon. I'm so sorry. But good to see you. And thanks so much for hanging out. And good to meet his other half.
Oh, my best half.
Your best half. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, everybody. So if you look over your head and mine above the screen, not in real life, because I had to start telling people like, man, are you in my house? Like, what's going on? Nah, you know. But if you look above your head and mine on the screen in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, no, that didn't work. Let's try this one. Let's see. I will post to Spotify. Let's get it. If you look, let's see, source. Don't need to know the source. All right, Spotify. All right, if you look over your head and mine in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to see a Spotify link. My brother, my friend, my mentor, my ace, my everything. Brother doesn't even know. He's finding out today. I'm pouring it, y'all. I can't help it.
I love it, man, and I appreciate it so much. It is an honor.
From My Heart to Yours is the name of his project. And again, the word heart means a completely different thing to him. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. But right now, what I want to do is I want to share the first recording that's a part of the impact that you have had on my life as a mentor. And it came from the Quiet Times Volume 1 series with your instrument, Hammond B3, on as the lead instrument. And it was the song, What a Friend We Have in Jesus.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Here we go. I hope that you all enjoy this. Ralph Lofton and the Quiet Time Players. Hey, Ralph. It's my favorite part. Oh man, look, and the other recording fades in, and that's about to be another Quiet Times players. So as you see, that recording impacted me so much. I know it as if I was right there in it.
Yeah, that gosh, man, that's got to be 25, 26, maybe or so years now. And that's how it all started.
Oh my goodness.
That
Wow.
that opened up the door to
Wow.
allow me to become a solo artist.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yeah, that was the very
Wow.
first thing that I did as an instrumental artist, and
Oh my
uh,
goodness.
those were, we were given the task to create hymns
Right.
without coming from our own perspective,
Right.
and I kind of just took some of the songs that I grew up on.
Right.
Because I started at age 9. So uh, my Baptist church that I grew up in,
Yeah.
that's all they did back then was hymns for
Right.
the most
Right.
part. And
Right.
so I played them so much
Right.
and so often to whereas it always had a very present presence uh,
Oh my goodness.
in my head to
Yes.
where I could you just constantly hear different arrangements
Right.
to
Right.
the melody, and and just would feel everything else around it.
Right.
And so we that was the fun thing about doing those songs, where you had guys that understood that genre of music
Right.
and understood what hymns were all about.
Right.
And like I said, it was just a fun time
Mm,
for us
mm,
to
mm.
be in the studio and just have the freedom to
Yes.
create, and with no limitations.
Yes.
And
Oh my goodness.
that was the outcome.
Whew. As people would say, you have just blessed my whole heart. Just these stories for me are everything because again, I'm an intuit. I'm a very intuitive person. Shout out
Hmm.
to my mom. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can call my mom up on the phone in here, see if she'll come in because I would love, love, love for her to meet you. And my mom is responsible for me being able to appreciate Ralph Lofton. Like my mom is responsible for me being able to understand who you are, not only as a musician but as a person, like your life, and in some of the things that you're expressing.
Hmm.
And so for you to tell me that the recording, the number one, that recording, I not only did like I did my own remake of that, where
Hmm.
because I listened to your solo, I listened to your approach, and I was like, man, there's so much here. For you to tell me that that was the recording that blossom where the flower blossom, oh man, that is amazing because I believe that's why I feel it in the way that I do. It's like I really hear it, I really understand it, I really
Hmm.
feel it. So that's so
Right.
impactful. I want to share something quickly with you to show you, and for everybody else, again, here, quick reset. Hello, I am talking to someone who, as the songwriter said, it's been a long time coming. talking to my good friend and someone who's a mentor to me without us ever having a lesson, without him ever sitting down and ever talking to me. It's the first time we ever spoke in life. But
it is.
Yes. But it has had so much of a big impact on not only my music, but just my ministry in music and just who I am as a person. And so this is Ralph Lofton. So one of the things that I was sharing with you is that from 2007 to 2014, I put out thousands of gospel tracks. I sat in the studio and I remade every instrument. I learned enough about drums and bass and guitar in order to sit down at the keyboard and pluck it out with my fingers. And I was already a hip hop producer, so I knew how to assemble music, and I had fun with this new advanced music with new bridges and turnarounds and chord progressions and solos and all these things. So when I sit down to produce, it's at the same time when I'm listening to quiet time players. So my style, those thousands of tracks, you'll hear the influence of the quiet times players. So here's a version of What a Friend that I did. That's a backing track that I did. And I'm going to let you hear a little bit of it here. So I made this about 11 years ago, and wow. It was when I first. Thanks so much. Now here's the one little interesting thing. So it must be the way that my audio setup is. It's the organ is not coming through as much as it actually is in the mix, but I think that has to do with the way I have things hooked up here. But essentially, this was for everyone. As you're listening to this, this is me playing the drums, the bass, the organ, and the piano, but all on the keyboard though, all applying it one track at a time. So I'm a keyboard drummer, and that kind of thing.
You sound like me.
Look, and that's what I was just about to say, because one of the things I learned about your journey was the power of the O1W in your life, the O1W. Yeah. Speaking of which, am I correct when I say that was the piano in the What a Friend recording?
No,
okay.
Actually, that was a live acoustic.
That was the acoustic. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Man. That shows you how good the O1W sounds, because man, it sounds like the real thing, when it's played, it makes you mistake it for the real thing. But I know that
let me also say this too about your track. Mm-hmm. The organ is actually placed in a very good spot where it's padding up under everything,
right?
And it doesn't actually need to be up any more than where he has.
I love it. And I think maybe it must be also that It might be that in my headphones, maybe it's just coming through a bit weird, but it's translating through the audio really, really well. For you to say that, that's perfect. Well, then there we go. So this is how you impacted my stuff.
I hear your drawbar registrations too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go. There you go.
I love it. I love it. Real sweet.
So, again, as I was mentioning earlier, I was heavily impacted by your approach. Heavily impacted by your approach. So, I want to get to this, first of all, where are you from? Oh my goodness, where are you from?
I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, and I reside right now in Nashville. I've been in Nashville actually since 1984.
1984, okay. I was too. Yeah, Nashville,
I moved to Nashville then, and been here ever since. I did things back in Memphis. In Memphis, I had a couple of groups of my own that were my very first group back in the 70s was called Ralph Lofton Singers. And it was a choir that I had compiled of some really good singers that were in Memphis, Tennessee that I knew. And it was a local group. We did cover music and that kind of thing, and it was something that I was led to do to just kind of display my ability of teaching vocal parts.
Yeah.
And having a group that understood how to minister to an audience. And that went on for about 2 or 3 years or so. And of course, I was playing for churches back in Memphis. I didn't do a lot of as a lot of musicians do the church hopping thing, where 3 months you were playing at one church, and then 3 months later you were playing at the church, so on and so forth. Right. I was not that kind of musician. Once I found a place that I wanted to be, I stayed, and so I ended up only playing in my young life about maybe 5 or 6 churches total. Right.
That sounds like how it was for me. And I almost feel like, to a good degree, when you have that few places that you've been in and you have longer tenures, you develop more, especially if there are places where there are healthy people and it's a nurturing environment, or people are kind, and loving.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. So did you, was the Hammond organ, was that where you start? Was it the organ that you were playing in church first, or was it the piano?
Well, I initially, from the beginning, the piano was the instrument. But I easily and immediately found and developed the interest for the organ, still at a young age. And around 11, 12 years old was when I started, working on it. And my mentors were 2 or 3 musicians that were in Memphis at the time. The pastor now named Sherman Helton, he kind of took me under his wing. He was one of these guys, man, that if you listen to my technique, it's where I developed understanding the approach of how to play organ. Him and another guy named David Flagg, who was passed on. Okay. David Flagg was the take 6 kind of player.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day. And he had a partner, organ partner,
Mm-hmm.
who was named Jesse Butler,
Mm-hmm.
who's also passed on.
Okay.
And these were three guys that I actually learned from, watched, studied,
Mm-hmm.
and took what I heard them do and
Mm-hmm.
created my own sound, understanding how to uh, work with the organ without it overshadowing everything.
Wow. That balance.
Knowing when to play, I play on my own
Right.
and just play whatever I wanted.
Right.
But when I had to play with a pianist,
Right.
I knew I had to find my spots.
Your spots, yeah. That
Yeah,
balance.
and also there was a recording artist back in the day named Alfred Bolden.
Okay.
He was the guy that a lot of people didn't know about. A lot of musicians don't even know about him today.
Wow.
But he was the guy that was recording instrumental organ back in the early to late 70s. And it was only organ, piano, and drums. And if you Google him, you'll probably find some stuff on him.
Okay.
But he was one of the guys back in the day that was doing when instrumental music wasn't even a thing on radio.
Right.
This guy made it possible.
Wow. And what was his name again?
Alfred Bolden.
Alfred Bolden. Okay.
Bolden. Bolden.
All right. I'm saving that right now. And some of these and a few of the other references, I'm going to ask you when you get a chance later to inbox me a few of those things, because you're giving me some really, really good history here. And again, they say, like, if you know where you've been, you know where you're going. And so
that's right.
And so for me, the way that you've impacted me, it makes me understand it in a deeper level now. And as I continue to hear a bit more about your life, so Memphis, let me ask you this: when it comes to, and then I want to talk to you a bit more about the heart, and then I want to actually invite a few people to meet you. So family, thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you so much. I hope you've been enjoying this conversation. I know I sure have. And I'm looking forward to you in a few moments meeting my friend, my mentor, Mr. Ralph Lofton. So by all means, if you have in a few minutes, you can prepare to come to the stage and say, hey, I would love to check in. So I want to ask you one more question about the organ, and then I want to move to, matters of the heart. So when you think about the organ, do you feel like, as an artist, that you are good at everything that you do? Do you feel like the organ is like a special kind of thing? Meaning, like, do you feel that that's where your special part, like a special voice is, or what makes you out of everything that you do?
I would say it is my second voice.
Did you say your second voice? Oh gosh, I love it. Wow.
Yeah, of course. When you literally speak through the mouth,
right,
that is your first.
Right.
But for me, as an artist, that would be my second voice. Yes. I feel most comfortable, even though I like my wife loves my piano voice.
Right.
Because of being an artist, that's a part of how I record as well.
Right.
For foundational purposes. But for me, organ is when I sit on the bench,
right,
and place my hands on the draw box to set things up.
Right.
That's where my voice, my second voice, right, begins. And that's when I'm most comfortable. It's like not even a thought.
Right.
Just where I know where to go. I'm not one of those that grab hold to the drawbars, yanking
Yeah.
them out, pulling them out the
Right,
end.
right, right, right.
I find a tone
Mm.
that fits the song,
Yes.
and I use that for that purpose.
Yes.
And I try to teach the other musicians, especially organists, to
Mm-hmm.
understand the concept. The organ is one instrument that you have to understand it
Right.
in order for it to work for you.
For you. Yeah. Wow. I couldn't agree with you more. I want to throw some context in there for everyone, and then we're going to get to these matters of the heart. So, um, when it comes to the Hammond B3 organ, there's a couple things that makes the sound, like makes it be the organ that you recognize and that you feel when you hear or feel uh, a good organ, or good organ solo, or someone playing the organ. It's the reason why when we play the organ well, people say that that person really made that organ walk or talk. The organ is one of those instruments that you don't just hit a button and then go. You craft the sound. You take your time. It's like being a chef. You mix your ingredients. And so we have these things called drawbars. And as you pull these bars out, they start to unfold the sound. You start to get different tones, and you can combine them together to equal whatever sound you want, whether it's a soft sound, something in mediums, something really, high and festive. And so for me, especially being a mixing engineer as well, it's comparable with that. It's like you're mixing and cooking your sound and spicing it up. To me, when you find yourself, and the reason why I asked you that question, Ralph, about how do you see yourself there, is you have to take your time and craft the sound. And I do believe that that is like one of the things that makes you really, really special, because your voice on organ and the way you phrase melodies and your settings, you could tell how much time you just take to craft it, and you're very intentional about it. But that, to me, is because you're intentional as a person, and it just comes out
Right.
in that way.
Right, exactly.
That's beautiful. And guess what? My mom is here. My mom is Cheryl down there, hanging in the audience.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Hello, Mom.
Hey, hey. All right, so this is what I want to do. I'll break it up a bit just so we can have a little fun. All right. All right, so first things first, everybody. Hey, thanks for hanging out again, hanging out here with Ralph Lofton. I want to invite you to the stage. I want to invite you up to say hey to someone who has just meant a lot to me, and I'm glad to be able to finally meet him in person. So if you'd like to come to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave. And I'm also going to adjust my music over here so that I can get it a little bit lower. So yeah, everybody come on up. I see Judith is coming up to say hey and throw up a wave. And if not, because you are allowing this to be the background flow and vibe and music and tone for your day, then by all means, hey you, thank you so much as always for coming through in that way. All right, we're going to say hey. So Judith, hey, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am better now that I've heard your voice.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I didn't know it was two of y'all on the planet. Watch out.
Yes.
And when I first heard your music, I guess it's been about 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
At our church, actually,
Mm.
and I said to one of the elders, Jim Robinson, I know this music. I've heard it before.
Wow.
you know, um,
Wow.
I had a mentor, and Mr. Lofton, I am very pleased to meet you. I'm all up on your Facebook page. I thank you for advertising Women of the Movement, letting us know about
Mm.
that you are
Oh,
actually in one of the scenes as an organist at the funeral scene in episode 3. I'm going to be on watching and listening.
well,
Thank you.
th-
Very,
thank you
very
so
happy
much.
about meeting you today. And,
Thank you.
yeah, I had a mentor too. I get that.
Yes.
Her name was Clarita Smiley.
Mm.
And she used to put us through this discipline of finding your meditative high mind,
Mm.
listening to John Coltrane.
Mm.
hmm Yeah.
So, it's a new kind of experience as a woman of African heritage to
Right.
find my meditation high mind,
Yes.
listening to the music
Hmm.
that is part of our soul. And you two gentlemen are really onto something. I appreciate you.
Mm.
I'll be listening and supporting 100%. Thank you.
Wow.
Well,
Mm,
thank
mm,
you so much, and
And I
I'm
don't know
very
what took me this
appreciative of
long to
that.
find you. I'm glad I did.
mm.
I'm glad I did.
Right.
Thank you.
It is one of those
I'm gonna
kind of
go.
moments. It's like when you find a
Yeah,
gym,
man.
it's like you're both
Oh,
happy because like, oh my goodness, a gym, and then you're like, but oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Why didn't I find you earlier? Where you been all my life?
oh, thank you. And
It's
God bless
beautiful.
you and your family. Enjoy your day. Thank you again.
Beautiful. Thank
Thank
you.
you. You do as well.
All right.
This is great. I want you to meet my good friend Coco Vera. Let's say hello to Coco, everybody. Good morning, Coco.
Good morning. Wow, what a wonderful space and a wonderful room. It's so good to see you, my BFF Ron,
Yes, yes.
and Mr. Ralph Lofton. Oh my goodness. I mean, your music. I can so hear
Mm.
your influence on I call him Ron on Ron's music. I so appreciate that, especially when you go. So, and
Right.
I was like, oh my God, that's where you got it from. So I've been in love with Aaron's music since the moment I saw him in a bar in Washington D.C. 2.5 2 years 6 months 3 days 25 hours and
In 36 seconds.
36 seconds ago. And now he has introduced me to you, and I'm so excited to be obsessed with your stuff and study your work as well. It's influencing me as a vocalist. So thank you for being here. I appreciate
thank,
you.
thank you, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Mm. This is amazing. Coco, the name of his album, his project is From My Heart to Yours. And did you, I'm not sure what's,
Oh no, it's already on my playlist. I already saved it to my worship music. I already put that
yes.
on my Spotify. I'll be listening to it in the next few mornings. I never wanted to go back to singing old school hymns before. Now I'm gonna be
yeah.
holding out
There
this.
also there's also two there's several others on there too. Hopefully you'll see those that are listed on all of the digital platforms. There's one that I'm most proud of as well is called "I Tell You Yes,"
Mm.
and it's a combination of jazz and hymns.
Yeah.
Uh, that one also features my good friend Kirk Whalum on a couple of songs there that we
Wow.
did.
Wow.
Kirk and I, just to add, Kirk Whalum and I, we grew up as kids together, man, in Memphis,
Mm.
and we've always worked together. Kirk's late father was a pastor in Memphis, one of the large churches there in Memphis, Tennessee, years ago,
Mm.
and that's where we met and became great friends, and we've been friends for years now.
Wow.
And being a part of the industry, we kind of just tag back and forth on each other's projects. He calls
Right.
me
Right.
when he wants to add my flavor, and he'll tell me all
Yes.
the time, man, when I need organ, you are my guy, and
That's
I'm
it.
calling you.
I'm
In
telling
fact,
you.
I was just he
Well,
was
I'll tell
just
you something. Kirk Whalum, I met him virtually.
Wow.
Years ago, my girlfriend, I was in a really bad place, and my girlfriend had a CD. I went to go and stay with her with my babies in her basement, and I saw Kurt Whalum's CD, um, and I stuck it in the CD player, and I fell in love with his music. And I actually took the CD from her. I was like, I'm gonna take this with me. You
Wow.
don't need it. I
yeah.
need it. And that was probably 20 years ago, and
oh yeah,
maybe less, maybe not that long, 15 years ago.
yeah,
And he's been one of my favorite artists. And so for
yeah.
you to be friends with him, and I'm talking to you, and
That's
oh my
amazing,
God,
right?
it's too
That is awesome. Kirk is he's a great guy, good friend. We've been friends for many years, and actually just saw him about 2 weeks ago. He was here
Mm.
in Nashville, and he performed at City Winery, and
Oh yeah,
he
City
called me
Runner.
up and
Yeah.
told me, he said, "I need you to come down and join the show with us."
Yeah.
And that was one of the first times I've been out and on stage
Mm-hmm.
since my heart transplant.
Let's talk
And
about it. That's
uh,
interesting.
yeah, it was fun.
I can imagine.
Did you say in Washington? Sorry, Aaron, I'm
Mm-hmm.
kicking you out of this conversation. Did you say, did you say you were in Washington with
No, no,
Kirk?
no. Here in Nashville,
Oh, in
Nashville,
Nashville.
Tennessee.
All right. I'm not coming to Washington anymore, Aaron. I'm going to Nashville. I'm
Right.
getting
I love it. Let me tell you, this is beautiful, and these moments, especially these kind of connections, this is what happens every single time we're here in this experience on the AP Morning Show, and I'm so grateful to everybody that's here. It's always matters of the heart. It's always every conversation we have here. You all know it's always matters of the heart. And today, in an interesting way, like in this moment, it's matters of a heart in a deeper way. Mr. Ralph Lofton, before we get out of here, let's talk. Not before we get out of here, but before we continue on with this conversation even further and everything that's going to unfold today for everybody that's hanging around for the next hour or so, is the matters of the heart. You said 4 years ago you had a heart transplant. Let's talk about
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for several years now, I dealt with congested heart failure.
Okay.
And one of the blessings in this is that through that whole process, I never had a heart attack.
Mm.
Never had any specific heart surgeries or anything.
Okay.
It was just dealing with the congestive part of it.
Yeah.
And, with my cardiologist going back and forth with, treatments and medications.
Yeah.
They kept me stable. I ended up at one point where they installed a defibrillator pacemaker
Mm-hmm.
to just keep monitoring my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so as that went on, years and years of dealing with that, it finally came around to a point
Mm-hmm.
where my cardiologist said, we've been dealing with this and medications and everything, and it's possible that we may have to consider looking at you having a transplant.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I, we, kind of looked at each other and was like, okay.
Right.
And so, us being both uh, uh, spiritual beings and
Right.
knowing that God works on our behalf on everything,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we said, okay, we'll just have to deal with this,
Yeah.
as it comes.
Yeah.
Um, about a little over 4 years ago, uh, we were at church and getting ready to start an evening service at the church that we were ministering at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And evening service started. My wife was directing. I was on organ. Our oldest daughter was singing.
Mm-hmm.
And soon as we started the song, uh, somehow I blacked out on organ
Mm.
and ended up on the floor.
Mm.
And when I came to, my wife was kneeling down over me, and she was
Wow.
telling me that you had blacked out, and so they had
Mm.
called the paramedics to come to the church, and they took us to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And, they did some tests, ran some tests on us, and it was a situation where my heart kind of just gave out for that
Mm.
moment.
Mm.
And
Wow.
she said, well, we're going to make some calls, and called the sister hospital to the one that they had taken us to,
Mm-hmm.
where this is the hospital that they actually do the transplants at.
Mm.
And she made some calls and to her colleagues,
Right.
and they ended up getting me, being able to get me to the hospital, transferred us there.
Mm-hmm.
They got them in, checked in and everything, and started running tests on us, and
Yeah.
realized that it was time that I needed to be considered for having a heart transplant.
Right. Okay.
God was in the process the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They checked us out. They realized that it was necessary and as quick as possible that they could try to do this. So they put me on the list,
Mm-hmm.
got us on the list, and within uh, 2 or 3 weeks or so being in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
they started finding, locating hearts that they thought would be feasible for my body.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, long story short,
Mm-hmm.
uh, after a month of being there, they got the heart, get transplant, and we are here now to say
Wow.
God took us through all of this, and I'm alive and
Wow.
well,
Wow.
and feeling good,
Mm.
and God just kept us, and which leads me to know that He still has work for us to do,
Yeah.
and we are so grateful and
Mm.
thankful and just blessed
Yeah.
through this whole process. And my wife is,
Mm.
oh my God, man, I cannot stop talking about her because
The good thing is you
she,
don't have to. Yeah.
she is a real trooper. And
Mm.
she kept
Mm.
everything together. She kept the house together, kept our
Wow.
household together,
Wow.
and was dealing with me and back and forth,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
she like I said, she is the best part of me.
Yes. Oh man. Wow, you got me tearing up over here. This is so
Uh,
so beautiful, and I'm so grateful for this. The words "give me a clean heart"
yeah,
have a whole new meaning for you.
yeah, no, most
You
definitely.
know.
And again, I'm going to consider
Mm.
that process that you talked about of doing songs of the heart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm so grateful for this moment today. For a number of different reasons. And I didn't get a chance to well, let's just say I'll share just this. My mentor was someone who reminds me a lot of yourself, and in his approach to music, and also his thinking and his balance as a human being. I got the opportunity to be with him for 2 years, well, a year and a half study with him, and then within a 2 year span, he was gone. He actually
Wow.
transitioned. Yeah. So when I meet someone like yourself, for me, it gives me the opportunity to be in touch with a person and with an energy and with a depth that
Hmm.
is a part of my mentors, and because mentors, I have a chain of mentors. It
Hmm.
feels like that. So I'm just so honored for this moment, and I really am grateful for you today,
Yeah,
to
thank
meet
you.
you.
And let me add too. I remember
Hmm.
you early on in before we started talking, and you were talking about your one of your teachers
Right.
uh, mentioned to you the African guy to tell you to
All right. To
listen. You have
listen.
to
Right.
listen.
Right.
You have to listen. And one of my mantras
Yes.
is learn to listen, listen to learn.
Mm. Learn to listen. Listen to learn. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that.
And
Like
when you
I'm.
do that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when you put yourself in a position to listen, you learn.
Right.
And that's what I've done all my life. I listen to stuff, I listen to people,
Right.
I listen to things, and learning is not difficult.
Right.
You know, you just got to listen.
Mm. Which can be difficult. It's
Exactly. That's the difficult part.
I
That's the difficult part is listening.
love it. You know, Openness, just the willingness. And so my heart is open today. I thank you for sharing in just these stories and so much. I want to say that one thing I want to do is I want to go back to highlighting what has been laid on your heart to spawn forth next with, and so and I want to be able to share the information so that people can catch that, and so it can speak to their hearts. So you have a single that's coming out, or that is already released?
It's going to be released this coming Monday, January 10th.
January 10th.
Yeah, it will be available again on all of the digital platforms,
Okay.
and the title of it is called "Let Me Love You."
Let Me Love You.
Yeah, and it's "Let Me Love You" with the letter U.
Got you. Let Me Love You, the letter U. All right. Do you have, where can people right now go in order to have it as like a bookmark? Should it be your website? Should it be the one that we have already above? How should we just get to your page so that way when it's released, then we'll know. Where should people go?
If you type into any digital platform, digital music platform, you just type in my name, Ralph T. Lofton.
Okay.
And that's Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes,
right.
Any digital music platform, Amazon, YouTube.
Yes.
Also, I have a YouTube channel under the same name, Ralph T. Lofton. My Facebook pages is Ralph T. Lofton.
Okay.
Just started a fan page under the same name.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm also on Instagram under the same name. I did have a different Instagram handle, but I changed it because I wanted to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I also changed it. My Instagram handle is Ralph T. Lofton.
Okay, perfect. So we'll do two quick things. One is when you get a chance, and you don't have to do it now, but you can just make a mental note of it. In your bio here on Clubhouse, all you do is you just touch your picture on the screen, and then it'll take you to your bio. In that space in the middle, if you touch your finger there, it'll open up so you can start writing. And if you just write that information, just the pertinent, then you'll want to have that there. And then everyone who talks to you here on the phone, anytime you're here in Clubhouse, they'll actually see everything you just said right there. And most people, and because that's the only place people go for your information, boom, it's right there. People just go right there.
Okay.
Yep. And
I'm learning. Well, this is actually my first time on Clubhouse.
Yes.
I had the app downloaded.
Yes.
And never did pursue it.
Right.
Once I did the app, which was several months ago, and until this very point, when I set up my profile.
So thank you for being having enough ESP to give that as a gift to me that I could be. Oh man, that's so amazing. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Changa Murray, hey, Keisha, my mom Cheryl is here. T, Eunice, Donna, Circa. If there's anybody that'd like to come to the stage, by all means, as we transition into the next part of this here beautiful conversation. I want to say you can come to the stage. I'd love for you to say hey to Ralph Lofton, my friend. Meet him, check in. Let me know if you have enjoyed this conversation thus far. And we're going to get a couple more check-ins happening. So if you'd like to come to the stage, you know what it is. Throw up a wave. And if not, because I'm helping you to slip out of your Zoom meeting because you know you're supposed to be here and there and paying attention, but you're not. Hey, it's all good. Just tell them you were listening to this song that you're hearing in the background now, Societal Exchange by yours truly. And they'll be okay with it. They'll be like, oh, okay, that's nice. I should have been on there too. So my mom is coming to the stage. And so this is what's up. You get a chance to meet my mom. All right, let me see here. There we go. All right. Everybody, let's say good morning to my mom, Cheryl.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I wasn't on here for the duration of the interview and so forth, but I'm pleased to meet you with a little bit that I got. We just lost my father's sister last night, so
oh, bless your heart.
He tweaks in and out. So nice to meet you, though.
Good to meet you, and just knowing that now we are lifting you up in prayer and your family.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, yeah, I'm glad you got a chance to meet my mom. I was telling, excuse me, I was telling Ralph earlier, Ma, that he, in many ways, you are the reason why I can understand him and his music and even his life, which he shared a lot about today. Just because of what you gave me, which made me be able to listen to his music and understand what I was hearing. So it means a lot for you to meet someone who I consider my mentor, and you know, it's an honor. My mom got a chance to meet my mentor. Wow, amazing.
And it's a pleasure to meet her as well.
Thank you.
Wow, that is too cool. If there's anybody else who'd like to come to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave. We're going to continue with this conversation just a little bit further. You know what it is. And if you don't, it's the AP Morning Show. The goal is always to just check in from December 3rd of last year. It was literally just to check in with as many people as I could and to operate in the midst of this here serendipity and intention. The ability to just hang out, be available, and for people who have similar interests to come through. Hey, you, I see you. That's why you're here. And so with that, we'd like to come to the stage, last call, and we're going to transition this conversation. Mr. Lofton, it's been amazing, and I so appreciate you. I thank you again.
Thank you for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure for me as well.
Wow, this is great. So by all means, if you desire to hang around a bit longer, even just to hear, just to be a part of convo, by all means, you can hang here on the stage, or you can hold down your profile and hit move to audience if you just want to listen in. And if you gotta go, by all means, I just say thank you so much for being a part of the flow today. Yes, family. All right, Judith, it's so good to see you. How are you? If you are there and still by your phone.
I am here. It is good to be here. Thank you. Yeah, somebody said it's same me, new year.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I see Keisha's coming up. Yes, same me, new year. Yes. Okay, Keisha, I'm sorry, I see you. I'm trying to bring you on up now before you. Oh, this is amazing. Let's say hello to Keisha. Hey, Keisha.
Hi, Brother Aaron. How are you today?
Aaron, how do I go down and make space for other people to come up?
Oh, you're fine. So you can hang here. You don't even have to worry about making
I'll
space.
Just go.
There you go. That's beautiful. There you go.
Good morning, Keisha.
Yeah, I want you to meet Keisha. Hey, Keisha.
Hi, how are you?
I am better now that I've heard the better half, and I just met the great half. So now it's a debate. Let's argue. No, I'm just kidding.
He always says that, but I think we compliment each other. So
that's the beauty, because you also compliment each other in modesty and humility. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah,
it's been a wonderful interview. I've enjoyed it.
Wow. I mean, when I tell you, as the songwriter wrote, it's been a long time coming. Like, I mean, he's one of my heroes. I mean, he's literally one of my heroes, so I'm just, I'm in the moment, and I'm so appreciative right now.
Well, thank you for giving him the platform. I think a lot of people have been sleeping on Ralph Lofton. They don't really know. They don't know. I think he's awesome, and it's awesome to see that other people think so as well, because it's been a long time coming, and he's well deserving of people knowing his journey and his career and the things that he's done, and not only the things that he's done, but the things that God is preparing for him to do. Mm-hmm. The world don't need to sleep; they need to wake up.
There you go. And here's the thing, and that's why I created this morning show, to help people wake up. And here's because the other thing in this for me, and I want to give you this too. So one of the other things that I do in these slice of pies that we call life is I'm also a creative brand strategist and marketing strategist as well. My time over the course of the internet and building a business from 0 to 6 figures has helped me to understand how to get more people to be aware of something. So I'm happy to meet you today, especially.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Here he comes. Every day. We were just debating about who's the better half, and just, and you lost because you weren't here to defend yourself. So,
Oh, wow. Well, I have to say it would be her.
See, he goes down swing. He goes down swing. He's not going out like that. So I was just sharing with Keisha that one of the other things that I do that I've been afforded the opportunity to learn and grow in is when I stumbled into the internet and I stumbled into finding myself as an entrepreneur, it would lead me to putting over 2,000 videos. And I'm gonna just mute you just for a second for the echo. But it meant that I created 2,000 videos, put them on YouTube, and before you know it, it was working in sync and it became a global thing. So I know how to bring more awareness to things that people are, as Keisha so eloquently said, sleeping on. So I'm saying that to say that with meeting you both today and knowing how you work together as a team, that I am here also to be a help to bring more awareness to this light of Ralph Lofton and the gift that he's not only had, but where he goes, as you just said eloquently, Keisha, in the future. So we're going to keep in touch. We're going to keep in touch in that regard.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Yes, yes. So this is amazing. Okay, so before we go any further, I got to ask, because see, now I've met the other, now arguably better half, and we're not going to take the rest of my show and just fight it. I'm telling y'all now, you're not going to have your worst fight on my, no, I'm just kidding. But I do want to know, how long have you all been together? Like, because when I hear, and how did this come together? Because when I hear what has been shared so far, I hear two people who, were like, when the stars align, here you are, two supportive people who are just, really a love to each other.
Yeah, well, we have been, as of this year, we have been together 21 years.
Wow.
We've been married for, will be 15 years this year.
Oh, that's sweet. Beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked together, and sometimes how you work together, you create a friendship and develop a kinship.
Yes.
We had a love for music and a love for God.
Yes.
And our coming together was very unconventional.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the least. But what I will say is God knows how to make something beautiful out of other people's mess. So I'll just put it there and leave it there. But God has blessed us and has kept us together against all odds, and he's been good. He's been loving. He's been kind and forgiving. And when we say Team Lofton, that's what we mean. Truly, truly Team Lofton.
Yeah, it is definitely. We are not that type of couple that, when sometimes you hear couples talking about, we can only work together. It's so many just
capacities,
not with everything, but
right.
In our case, we spend at least 97% of the time doing everything together.
Yes. And let me tell you, I could see it. I'm gonna tell you how much I have not only been not sleeping, but fully awake when it comes to Team Lofton. One of my favorite and most beautiful moments of you all is the video that you have where you have the organ outside, and when Keisha, where you're dancing and singing and just having a good time. It is one of the most beautiful expressions ever.
That was that song from the project that I mentioned.
Yes.
I Tell You Yes. That was from that project.
Okay. I'm actually, is this on YouTube?
It should be, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull this up right now because we're going to actually listen to this. And we're going to share. This is great. Family, I want to invite you again if you'd like to come to the stage. My goal is to get all things in and check in. And so by all means, you are welcome. I would love you to meet my new friends and for them to meet you as well. And if not, I so appreciate you. We're going to enjoy this. So this is great. So I tell you yes. And I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. I see the cover. Okay, so let's see. Is this the music video? Let me go to it. Okay, so I see this. All right, this is the one with the still cover. Do you have, let's see. Do you know if the music video version is on YouTube?
It should
It should
be.
be. Okay. Let's see. All right, I'll tell you yes. Ralph Lofton. I'm gonna put video. All right, and if not, all good, cause I will play this. I see the version with you on the cover.
Okay, let me check it and see here.
Oh, good. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and cue this up, and then if you see that one, let me know. This is beautiful. Yeah, when I first saw this, in fact, you know what? I should do a Google search. Maybe it'll come up that way. Because I can't remember where I first watched it, but I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. All right, here it is. I see it now. I'll tell you yes, full version. All right. So if you are not hanging with me on Facebook right now, it's probably because you don't realize the beauty of this app called Clubhouse, and the fact that one of the most amazing things is that this is one of the first apps where it doesn't take up your whole phone and you can do other things. So if you come on over to Facebook, you can look for me at Aaron Hill TV. Look for the red and black profile picture, the one where I don't have a shirt on. And you can scroll down and we're going to watch this video together. I tell you yes. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Facebook at Aaron Hill TV, red and black icon, and look for the live video. You also see me making silly faces at the camera. All right, and I'm going to share my screen, and I hope you enjoy this. And please click that link above my head and yours. Follow Ralph Lofton on Spotify and everywhere else. I tell you yes.
submit my total being unto you. All of me, from the innermost being, says yes to the sovereign will of God forevermore. Yes to your will and your way. Romans 12:1 and 2 declares, I must present my body a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is my reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of my mind. Yes, Lord. Get the glory out of my life, for I submit it all to you. Yes, in the midst of storms, rains, trials, tribulation, heartaches, and reversals. Yes, Lord, forevermore. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I'm weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand. For indeed, Lord, yes, forevermore. Yes, Lord, I'm yours, and I'm grateful that you are mine. You are my Redeemer. You are my Savior, the Lord of my life. For that reason, Lord, I say yes, forevermore. Yes, through the wilderness. Yes, for you declared that the cattle on 1,000 hills belong to you, and if you are hungry, there's no need of weeping and mourning, for you are all sufficiency. Yes, Lord, forevermore, forever and ever and ever, thou art God. Yes, Lord.
Phew, Ralph Lofton and Keisha Lofton. I'm telling you, that it's the most beautiful expression ever, y'all.
Oh, bless you, man.
My goodness.
Thank you so much. And to add, that was one of the songs that all of the instrumentation I did it. I did all of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm talking about.
And she did. Keisha did all of the background vocals.
Oh man, it's nice when you know things before someone tells you something. Like I felt that. I just could feel. It was like, okay. So one of the things that has happened for me since I've been doing my tracks is that my tracks have they've become one of the number one sources in the world, because when you listen to the track, many people think it's a full band, and it's just like, how is this band thinking this way? Like, we know what chemistry is. This is the most amazing chemistry ever. And I'm like, it's because it's coming from one mind, and there's an interesting thing that happens there. So I recognize it when I hear it. That's crazy.
That's crazy. But one of the things I do enjoy in creating is I like to create everything that I feel, but then at the same time, the way I did this new single that's coming up, I created the whole track, but I went back and had players added that I knew could see my mind and vision and duplicate what I wanted on the track, as if it would be me playing all of the instruments. But I had other players to do the rest of the parts.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So I tell you, this is why like understands like, as they say, like attracts like, and this is why I've known you longer than I've known you. I want to play something for you in the closing of this part of the experience, and this is actually me playing the tune "Great Is Thy Faithfulness" on the organ, and this is with my good brother and friend Craig Alston. See if I can get Craig up in here and see if Craig can come through. Maybe if I tell him we're hanging out talking about it, maybe he might come through. But my good friend Craig Alston on saxophone, this is from 3 years ago. I got called to play for a service for a friend. All right. Oh, and one more thing for everybody. That song, I Tell You Yes, look right above your head in mine. If you click that link, you can save that and use that to continue to warm your heart. All right.
Amen.
Here's my version of Great Is Thy Faithfulness with Craig Alston. So while I was playing this, actually something else came to mind for me that actually is, this is an expression. This is something that happened, let's see, last week. And I want to let you hear this because this will show you your impact on my style. So 7 days ago, I'm with a buddy of mine supporting him for the loss of his grandfather, an ancestor, a Baba, as they would say. And this is someone who I really, really respect. He called me and we performed the song My Way by Frank Sinatra. Mm-hmm. This is myself and Brandon Moultrie. And this is where you'll hear your influence on my style. So that's just a moment with myself and my brother Brandon Moultrie, and that was my way.
Yeah, I can hear the tone,
Right.
the Leslie changing,
Yeah. Yeah.
The movement of it,
Right.
the chord progressions,
Right.
and the sound, man, the tone. I can hear the influence.
Wow.
And just so you know, that's honoring for me, man. Just to know that I've been able to make an impact on how you treat your creations.
Wow. Wow. And so there's something that we say here in Clubhouse. You'll hear it as you travel around to other rooms and listen to other conversations and figure out that this was and will always be your favorite conversation. You'll hear us say something in this community, which is when we're done, it's a form of etiquette. When a person speaks and then they want to allow the floor, they say, this is Aaron Hill and I am complete. And that's how I feel right now. One of the things that I often say is that if I could have anything in life, it would be for my mentor to be alive now, to see where I am now, and for us to have the conversations and the talk, and for me to receive his accolades and his appreciation, because I owe everything that I am to his giving. He called me his star pupil, and he said, I'm passing down the mantle to you. And he started pouring into me. He said I reminded him a lot of himself. So with you sharing what you shared here today, and then in ending there, I'm complete, and I just appreciate you. I really do.
Bless you, man. Again, like I said, it humbles me, and it definitely honors me to know that I have been an impact and an influence on not just you as a musician, but you as a person.
Right. There we go.
That for me is why God has me here, and that is to make a difference in someone's life,
right?
And instill into them what He's given me to pass it on and to continue it on.
Right. There it is.
Well, you honor me, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, and you've definitely continued it on. One of my number one sayings in life is a lyric that you are so familiar with, and as well as many people here, and is, if I can help somebody, then my living isn't in vain. And I always say, since I already know my living isn't in vain, I'll just spend my time helping people. And that's why I live my life in the same manner that you just shared. And that's why I knew you before I knew you. So it's been a pleasure. I look forward to catching up with you again. And
definitely. And this is not the end.
It's not the end. Keisha, is that an amen to that?
That's an amen.
Yes.
An amen.
Yes. And a woman.
and amen. And if I can add, she doesn't go to the extent, but I like to make sure people know the pronunciation of her name, and it's
Perfect.
pronounced Seashell, like
Like
seashell or
Sisha.
seashell.
Perfect. Perfect,
It's
perfect, perfect.
seashell.
I thank you
And
so much for sharing that with me. Because I like to
no
pronounce,
problem.
I like to pronounce people's names right. And this also gives me another thing that comes to mind and want to bring it to mind for you too. Sisha. Yeah, look, that feels better. I didn't have to like choke up my throat. I could like let it flow. Sisha. Oh man, that's beautiful.
There you go. See?
Look, he said, see, there you go. If you, one thing that that will be cool for you to do, and that will, help you in this app, especially for other people, not to make that same mistake, is if you haven't already, let me just check before I assume, in your bio, Sisha, a lot of people, what they do is at the top, they'll put pronounced and then they'll write it phonetically. If they have a name that's pronounced differently than you might think, or it's hard to pronounce. So yeah, if you throw that there, then everybody will be calling you Sisha the very first time.
Right.
I love it. And I love that name. You're the first Sisha I know. Perfect. That's beautiful. All right. So and I got
the only one you'll ever know.
One of a kind. It's been such a pleasure meeting you two one of a kind people, finding like-mindedness in you. I got the amen from Sisha that this won't be the last time that I see ya, and so I'm so happy about that. Y'all have a great one, and by all means, if you want to continue to hang around and enjoy the conversations, and if there's anyone who'd like to come to the stage just so you cannot miss out on this moment, by all means, throw up a wave. And it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to catching up with you all in life again.
Definitely, we will be in touch.
That's perfect. All right, so as they say, you actually don't have to go home. You ain't got to go nowhere. You can actually hang here, and if you just want to hang in the audience and listen in, you can. Or if you want to hang on stage and participate as we check in with a few more people, by all means. All right, family. Yes. And if there's anyone who'd like to come to the stage, this AP morning show is always this kind of space, always this kind of place, always these kinds of tastes. I'm actually give you something to taste and smell and hear and continue to listen to, and that's this song that you hear playing in the background. What is it called? Well, I'm so glad that you silently asked. It's called Societal Exchange, and it's a song by yours truly. It's an original. So what I'm going to do is, over top of your head and mine, I'm actually going to put the link in order for you to continue to enjoy this. I make music for one purpose, and that is for self-care of others. What happened is I found out that I was a music therapist long before being in school to study psychotherapy. Yep. So it's been longer than the 2 years I've been in school for it. And so that makes sense to me because I was raised by a music therapist. My mentor, who I was speaking about earlier, he happened to be a music therapist. So while I was learning music, I was also learning how to apply it in a most therapeutic way. So that's what I make music for. So all I want you to do is to have this in your playlist, in your library, just so you can chill out too, relax, and just de-stress. Oh, speaking of de-stressing, oh my gosh. I have a drive time meditation on self-compassion that I'm about to deliver to you that you're going to be really happy about. So look out for that in the next couple of days. And right now, look above your head. Something has changed. The link. Go ahead and save that. Save it, listen to it, vibe out to it, smoke to it, drink, like whatever you want to do, sleep to it, whatever. Just enjoy it and allow it to decompress and de-stress you. I always want you to have the best day. If you like to check in, as always, I like to say, if there's any place that I can hold you accountable, I can be your accountability partner and just stand with you. A goal for your day, a goal for your weekend, a goal for your life. By all means, throw up a wave, come to the stage, or if you just want to say, hey, before we exit this space, that's all good too. By all means, either way, come through. Oh, this is beautiful. Facebook. What's happening, Paulette? Paulette says, thanks. You just said, but we need to see your face. Yeah, that's why you can be a part of the Double Dip crew like you are being right now, which I love it. Hanging out on Facebook and Clubhouse. I want to say what's up to Paulette. Hey, my friend. Now, you got to come over here, Paulette. You know I got to hear your voice one day. Unless you're working and, you know, all that good stuff. Getty Goodwin, thanks for hanging out. James Claiborne. Fernando Allen, my other mentor, my teacher from middle school to high school. The person who is responsible for that beat in the background. Because he let me make beats in his class for a whole semester so that I could hone my craft. And I did. And I went on to be a professional. Thank you again, Fernando Allen. Connie Mac Ward, hey, thanks for hanging out. Yes. What's up, Quinn? Good to see you come in. Oh, and speaking of which, this is a perfect opportunity. So again, I am doing something for musicians. Something real good. I'm going to tell you something good, and I'm going to let you hear something good. So when I started off this show, I started off with this beat right here. This beat that you hear in the background. It's Star Eyes. It's Star Eyes. It's Star Eyes. La 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 la. I don't know the words to the song, but it's Star Eyes. So this is a jazz standard, Star Eyes. And one of the things that I'm doing is picking up where I left off as far as creating soulful backing tracks for the world. But I'm doing it in the style of jazz with jazz standards for a while, because there's a whole lot of stuff to cover. From cover to cover, we got a whole bunch of songs. And I'm going to be covering all of the jazz real and fake book, like all of those popular tunes like Blue Bossa and Summertime and Star Eyes and everything in the most soulful way, and releasing them every single day for musicians, for artists, vocalists, even shower singers, just for you to get your groove on too. Yep. So Quinn, you could look out for that, my friend, because I know you got the tracks before, and so look out for this track and a bunch of other good ones. I think Summertime is going to be next. Y'all know Summertime is one of the most popular jazz songs ever. Yep. Hey. Yes. Quinn, if you'd like to come to the stage, throw up a wave. I know you just popped in before we get out of this space. And if not, hey, it's all good. Thanks for coming through. All good in the hood. Hey, it's all good in the hood. All right, family. So before we get out of here, my brother Quinn is coming to the stage. What's up, Quinn? Hey.
Aaron, what's good, my man? How are you?
I am well, bro. How about you?
Oh, man, all is good. All is good. Got some snow up here in CT, but we're all right. We're staying and working from home anyway.
Yes, sir. I love it. Well, let me tell you this. If you got another hour on your hands, man, after this experience, and for everybody else here too, if you hit this from the top, bro, I don't know. Were you here when Ralph Lofton was here? The legendary Ralph Lofton.
No, I just tuned in. I haven't been on Clubhouse in a while, man. So I just tuned in.
Perfect.
Just now, so.
Well, I got a treat for you, bro. And thank you, Clubhouse, for making this possible. So in a few minutes, once we finish checking in, bro, hit replay. And oh my gosh, the Ralph Lofton.
Hey, so there's a replay option on here? I mean, yes, again, I've been out of the loop, man.
Right. Let me tell you. Let me bring you in the loop. So the cool part is, so if you look above your head, if you notice above Societal Exchange, it says replays on, right? So anytime you're in an experience now where you see that, it'll either say replay on or off. If it's on, that means that as soon as the person hits in room, you can immediately play it again. It's right on their bio. So if you hit my bio right now and just look down at the bottom, you're going to see all the past experiences that I've done here just right there for you to click and just dive right on in. And the cool part is when you're listening to it, it's not like you're just listening to an audio file and it's blank. You're literally watching the entire thing replay. So you'll see people come in and out. You'll see who's there, who's not. It'll show you. It'll show everything in real time. If they share links, anything, any interaction, you'll see everything straight in real time. So yeah, bro, it is.
And now this is in Clubhouse, because I haven't updated, so I'm not even seeing any of that you're mentioning.
Right.
So I probably got to update the app.
Yeah. If it didn't automatically update, then yeah. But yeah, if you when you do update it, when you click on my profile, and you know how you look at the bio, when you scroll down at the bottom, it'll show. You'll see extra, like you'll see how it looks in the hallway, but it'll just be like the past rooms. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, but you got to hear that, because it's a whole musician's conversation, and you'll get a chance. This is the person who was the direct influence on Fruition Music. Like his artistry and his style and his success was actually the model for me to build Fruition Music. Okay. So, and this is our first time in life ever speaking.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, yeah. So if you get a chance, check that out. And of course, if we catch up again, if you're ever hanging through, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 11. So if you see me and you want to pop in, by all means, I'm here, and I'd love to see what you think of that. But
definitely.
But other than that, man, just in general, how you been, bro?
All is good, man.
That's
doing good. Been really kind of busy doing a lot of weddings and different events. So yeah, it's got actually got some wedding shows I'm doing this weekend and next weekend. So
love it.
All good.
What area are you in again?
I'm in Connecticut.
You're in Connecticut, right? Yeah. So one day when you're in Baltimore, man, if you're ever in Baltimore on a Monday night, you gotta come jam with us at the session.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm gonna try to make it happen then.
Look, I'm gonna tell you.
You playing every Monday night?
Every single Monday night.
All right.
Yeah, and it's like, it is the Harlem Renaissance reborn, bro. It's like, it's really, really amazing. So it's funny because, so you said, don't say that. Here's the thing that might even make it worse. It's so good. There are literally people driving from Connecticut every week just for it. That is that good. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, Monday nights at a place called Our House. But yeah, I'll tell you more about that in the future. But yeah, it's just good to check in, man. I'm glad that you've been well. Wedding flow, man. I know that's been an interesting time, especially in these times.
Yeah, now it's starting to pick back up again. So, for all the people, I actually did a wedding on a Thursday night. I'm like, who gets married on Thursday? But because so many venues were booked up, everybody's trying to get their weddings in.
There you go.
And they had to take whatever they can get, and probably at a cheaper rate as well.
Look, and I was about to say, if it's at a cheaper rate and you really don't care that much, because all you really care about is you and a couple people who
and people came out too, so
it
wasn't like it was people wasn't going to come because it was a Thursday.
Right.
Oh, they there.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. So what do you think about this track in the background? The tunes Star Eyes? Have you ever heard of jazz?
I don't. You know what? I wasn't really much a jazz buff, so I don't really know a whole lot of the classics.
Right. Well, I know you know this one. Check this out. I know you know this one. This is the next one I'm releasing. So you about to have some new wedding music. Summertime. You know this joint.
Okay.
And the living is
yeah.
So this is the backing track that I'm releasing next. Is the very next in line for my soulful jazz track series. I'm getting back to making performance tracks now, but I'm only doing jazz standards in this way, and I'm covering the whole catalog. So I know, and especially when I think about the wedding flow, Summertime or like God Bless the Child or My Funny Valentine, I know those are tunes you're familiar with. You can look out for those real soon, bro.
Okay, cool. It's been a while since I've been on your site, so I'll have to go back and see what other tracks you got up there, because definitely loving what you do.
Thanks, bro.
Keep it up, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, and it's just good to hear from you, bro. Good to know you're doing well, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I just want to say, before I wrap things up, everybody, if there's a place that I could stand in accountability with you, a personal goal for your day, for your week, for your 22, by all means, this is the opportunity. Let's check in real quick. so I could see where I could support you. And then from there, we're going to take a couple breaths and get on with this beautiful Friday. I'm going to see my kids today. I'm about to have a fun time. So yeah, come through if you're in the audience if you like to, and by all means, Quinn, if you like to share, all good. If you got anything I could stand in accountability with you on.
Yeah, I'll be peeking in on you soon, for sure.
No doubt, fam. Well, I will stand in accountability with you. Just keep making it do what it do, bro. And yeah, before you get out of here, let's say what's up to Acerca. Hey, what's up, Acerca?
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's to say fair for a square. I just like saying that. I don't even have to be a square. I just like saying that. Fair for a square. I'm doing all right. How you feeling?
I'm alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel that. That's what's up. So, yeah, before I get out of here, just wanted to check in, see how everybody's doing. Anything you want to throw out, anything anybody want to throw out, by all means. What's up with your weekend? Like, yeah, I hope you about to have a relaxed one or a good one or an exciting one or a chill, whatever of your choosing.
Yeah, I don't have any plans. So I'll hopefully, continue to be alive.
Mm-hmm. And you will be, because I'm making a declaration right now.
Yes.
You will, because you know somebody else is like, yep, on your behalf.
Yes. I was thinking earlier that I have a very interesting view of like death. It's like, honestly, every step we take is or every choice we make is a step closer to death. And so it's so interesting. It's like everything you do is a step closer. And so you can try and be like, oh, be careful about it, and then still die.
Right. Right. And still die.
So yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm still alive, so it seems like I'm doing this right.
There you go. Look, that acceptance. I tell you, knowing what you just said, one thing it does for me is it collapses time. It lets me know, like, every day that I grow, like, in some way, I'm also, like you said, moving one day closer to death. And that realization, like acceptance of that reality, makes me really appreciate the moments and be in the moment so deeply. Because, yeah, these are they. That was the name of my mentor's, his publication, too. He wrote a book explaining his whole concept of music, and it was called These Are They. And that's what it is. These are those moments. That quote that I heard when I was 8, it was like, what is the meaning of life? Like, what is the meaning, or what is life? And the answer was, life is the thing that is happening while you sit there and ponder that goddamn question. So, I'm alive, live, So, I'm feeling you on that, Acerca. I'm going to actually be here Sunday, family, for some soulful, soothing self-care time. This coming Sunday, I try to do it every Sunday, but I get taken away by other events that are of the same, where I'm out there in the world, hanging out with people and doing this self-care thing. So this Sunday, I am back in the seat, 5 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be here just getting a quick breath in, some meditation, talk about something dealing with self-care, and be able to soothe and self-soothe. So join me at 10 a.m., a soulful, soothing self-care experience, and I'll be making the room shortly after this, and you can RSVP it or whatever. Hit the bell, as they say. Brother Quinn.
Yeah, so Aaron, real quick, I know a while back, again, it's been a while since I've been on, but I remember a while back you were doing some live playing, like it was on a Friday night. I'm going back maybe about a year ago.
Right, yeah, the serenade.
Do you still do those or what?
I do. I haven't done one in a couple weeks because I've been out doing other things, but now that you mentioned it.
No, this was on Clubhouse, though, that you did it.
Right. I know exactly what you're saying. And
Okay,
and I was saying that I haven't done it in a couple weeks because I've been out, actually doing a few other events. But since the winter is back and it's getting cold as hell and I ain't out there, you're gonna actually see that come back as well. Okay. So yeah, look out for that. Yep. And if you hear, and you probably already have it, but if you have your notifications on for me, it'll show you when I make that room. Cause I'll be doing that real soon. And thanks for asking, bro. Cause that's some of my favorite time there. The serenade.
Yeah, I did a couple. Actually, you inspired me to do a couple myself. So I did a couple rooms, and again, I've just been so occupied with other things, and haven't been on in a while. So thinking about doing it up again, starting at least maybe once a month or something.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's a good goal. I think it's a good goal. And let me tell you, especially because to me, the thing I like most about Clubhouse is that it gives us the opportunity to work with something that's you can't get any easier as far as creating content. I mean, but it also, because creating content is not really about how easy or how hard it is, it's just where we are, like as far as how easy we're able to just let go and do or have the time or what have you. It's the perfect thing for not making excuses. Like I was talking to my brother Trey. Trey, I forgot Trey's last name, but Trey is now a part of the Baltimore Jazz Alliance. We had a meeting yesterday, and he was showing us this concept that he started. It was a podcast, and he started it with the Baltimore Jazz Alliance. But he was like, "Man, I just don't have the time. Like I want it to happen, I just don't have the time. I just can't keep up." And I was like, "Bro, let me tell you something. You do actually have the time." And I was like, "Here's what I mean. You get on Clubhouse and you do just like how I did, how I built over 300 podcast episodes, which was I just talked to people while I was driving." And I'm saying that from the perspective of like, I made it be so natural to what I would be doing anyway that I didn't need any more time. I didn't need any more resources. I didn't need any more excuses. Like before I just knocked it out the park, because I realized how easy it was. You know, most of the time it's hard because we have like some way in our mind that we want to do it that requires too much, and it can be done, but it takes hella long to put it together, or the right circumstances, or all these things. We don't get it done. Or life has us caught up with other things that take time. So I started learning how to make use of invisible time. And that was where I was already doing something, and I just made it a part of that activity. That's what this is. Like, if I wasn't talking to you all, I'd be sitting here studying my subjects and stuff for the day. I'd probably be hanging out with one person on the phone, checking in, making sure they're well, doing all kinds of things. And I decided to make it where all of the world could be a part of that one experience. Then I wouldn't slow me down. I wouldn't have to make time. Boom. So,
gotcha.
Yes, sir. Once a month, I stand behind you, even if it's just hanging out, talking to people, and just hanging out, like check-in, right. Just a check-in. Right.
Sure.
Like everybody appreciates that, because everybody needs somebody to talk to, and just somebody who cares, and just to hang out and catch up for a bit.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, now it's just making me want to do it even now, sooner than later. So,
and that means I stood in accountability with you in the way that, it's the way that I care to do for all of us. Let your birds fly. In fact, this is a beautiful one. All right, let me do this. I love this moment of serendipity where things come up. Improvisation. You're like, oh yeah. All right, so I got, let's see. Let your birds fly, Aaron Hill. All right, let's see, where do I have it? I'm actually going to put this is a part of my podcast. And this is actually the first podcast that I did. And it was, I did this to help myself. Like the way I went from 1 to 300 conversations was literally me being like, I got to find a way not to have any more excuses. Or I got to find a way for life not to make me have to have any excuses. Because what I'm saying is true. But like, that still can't stop everything. And so I came up with this podcast, and it started off with that, let your birds fly. And that was just about like letting your ideas fly and realizing what I learned in school, what they taught me in Berkeley. I'm in the entrepreneurship class, and the number one thing I learned there was this concept of the next actionable step. That's the one I'm gonna put up for you. I'm gonna put that one up above our head. The next actionable step. All that means is right where you stand, there's something that you can do to actually make what you want to happen. It's just that you have to realize the next step and not what most of us do, which is it's a step, but it's the one that's 3-4 down the line, and that's why we can't find time and all these other things. So anyway, check this out when you get a chance, Quinn, and anybody else that's here. If you look above your head and mine, you should see a pinned link. Now, I don't know if you need to update for this, but Quinn, do you see the next actionable step above us? Okay. I don't know if that, I think you flashed your mic.
Yeah. So I just updated the app and it knocked me out. So now I'm updated. So I can see
perfect.
I can see things differently now.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Yeah, I love it. That's perfect. Okay, so when you get a chance, you can do it now or in the replay, whatever. Click that link and just save it. Listen to that. I made that to help us through with where you are, and to continue with that motivation. And then what I was telling you earlier, check that out when you get a chance. Now you can click on the bio, and when you scroll down to anybody's bio at the bottom, you'll see the rooms that they were speakers in that was recorded. So you get a chance to catch up on the things that you like about.
Yeah, but you have, in order for that to be saved, you have to record it though, right?
So no, it's within Clubhouse. What happens is when you create a room, it will now ask you, do you want this to be a replay, meaning it's right afterwards it's recorded and saved to your archives, or no? So you don't have to do anything but literally just check that box or flick on that switch on or off. Yup. How easy is that? That's why I'm like, yo, no more excuses for any of us. How easy is that?
Right.
It's like, it's easier than podcasting because it's live and all the work is done for you. And they're continuing to go that way so they can make it the easiest for us to make the most content possible with no friction or no excuses,
Yeah, I was gonna say, so yesterday, I had happened to be in one of those random town halls.
Right.
And I don't see the option on my phone yet. Like, I guess, I don't know how it works, but they said what they're doing is it should be released today. Like, it should be out now.
Right.
Is that when you click share and whatnot, you should be able to share a web link and you should be able to share it to anyone in general, even if they don't have a Clubhouse account, that they'll be able to listen from a web address, so they can click from their laptop and whatnot. And just, I think it might be that copy link thing, but I'm not sure. Right. But it's supposed to be a web link to where people don't have to log in, and you can send it out so that they can join, listen in on the conversation. They won't be able to raise their hand or participate, but they will be able to do that. So you can either do that with your replays, like the replays should have a link, or you could do it live.
Right. I thank you so much for sharing that. I had just took a peek at that last night, and so that is what it is. Now you can share to someone and they can actually watch and listen from their computer. Which now means we can take the message farther, because so many people, like, this experience, as you see once you're in here, like, it's so simple and easy, but like when you're not, you don't even understand it. It's like, for many people, they think that it's something super, super formal, and so I'm like, nah, we're just hanging out on the phone. So now with this new share, now people don't have to be in it or even download it. They can just listen to it from their laptops or their desktops, which is beautiful for all of us making content, because all you need is an experience in order for you to be like, oh, I could do that, or yeah, that is cool. I would like to, tune in that way. So yeah, that's great. And thank you so much to Circa for sharing that. This is what's up. Well, family, it's about that time. I'm getting ready to go ahead and advance with my day. But hey, before we do that, We're just going to take a couple deep breaths in order to exhale and get out of this experience. And so the cool thing is you don't have to be anywhere special in order to breathe. So I invite you to do that along with me. I like to take 3 deep breaths over the course of 30 seconds. And the very last one, I exhale the longest, and we can actually do that joint together if you like. All right, so I am going to take a deep breath in through my nose and out. Long exhale out of the mouth. The cool thing about the long exhale is that it slows your heart rate down, allows you to decompress. So on the second breath in, we let this one out longer than the first. And on this last one, I invite you to let go of the stress that you didn't even realize was there until you started this process. Relax your shoulders a bit more, relax the muscles in your face, even though you didn't know that they were tight to begin with. And if you like, and you're on the stage, you can open up your mic at some point if you like to take this. We can take it together, or you can just do it right in the course of your own privacy. And on 3, 1, 2, 3, inhale. Long exhale. Whew. That felt good, and I say thank you so much for doing that along with me and doing that for yourself. Yes, Acirca, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, this was a great vibe today. This was really a great vibe. You have no idea how much it meant to have my mentor with me, except for you do, because you heard it and you heard how I was going off and couldn't contain myself.
No, it was great. It's anything like you said, it was like affirming and whatnot.
Right. Oh my gosh. Whew. So affirming. I mean, yeah, here's someone who, man, there's very few people that you get the opportunity to meet that have had the biggest impact on your life. Like people that their impact wasn't up close and personal. Like, you know, they're the heroes, they're the Michael Jacksons, you know, they're all the people that inspire us from afar. And so, yeah, Ralph for me is like meeting Michael Jackson. He's my Michael Jackson. He's the one that my moves are inspired by. He's the one that, you know, didn't even know it, just on the humble showed me the way. So that I'm gonna be on a high for the whole rest of my day around that. It's crazy. Crazy. So cool. Hey, you got any vape on deck? I'm about to re-up now, you know, if you want to take a hit, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm out here struggling. It's negative 14 degrees outside.
Come on,
which means like the air pressure is outrageous. I woke up with a nosebleed because it's so dry in here. It is just like I want to go get something to eat.
Right.
But I gotta go to the grocery store, and like I said, it's negative 14. So I had some cookies, some chips, and some water. So
yeah. Have you always? I don't know if I've asked you this before, but if I have, then refresh my memory. Are you Chicago bred and born and lived there all your life, or?
Yeah, born and raised in Chicago. I'm from the South Side, specifically like the low end, which is like mostly Latino neighborhood and whatnot. When I say Latino, it's like mostly Mexican. There aren't too many other Latinos, like pocket neighborhoods, except for like maybe one.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Do you think you would ever live anywhere else?
Actually, yeah, I've always wanted to like go somewhere else. I just honestly, I think I was somebody was telling me this the other day, and they were like, you need to get out of the out of Chicago and this and that if you don't like it. And I'm like, bro, it's been 30 years. I've been trying to get out of this city. Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would love to go somewhere that's warmer.
Yep.
And like just chill. That's calmer weather.
Right, for sure. Well, I'm seeing warmer in your future. I really am. And I know that life has been life, but I believe where there's a will, there's a way. You know, and I do really empathize with things like how the elements affect you. Like real talk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm holding that up. I just want you to know that I'm holding that up. That will never leave me, because yeah, that's significant. So I know that there will be multiple ways that I'll be able to support you in that, and just I'm gonna leave that to life. But I want to see that happen. I really, really do.
Well, my stuff is packed up, so I'm ready.
Right. And this is true. And that's the crazy part, because this is true. This is like literally true.
My
like,
shit is literally packed up, ready to go.
Ready to go, right. And I imagine you don't have a lot of stuff because, you know, I mean, at least for...
Oh, no, I do. I made it a point to fill my home up so that it wasn't all echoey and boring and like, you look sad. You look like this is in the home. And so, yeah, I have a whole shit ton of shit. But like the funny thing is, I tend to, like you said, like you'll see something and we just redefine what it means and whatnot. And so with me moving, like I'm moving with my mom, and like her apartment is like barren as well. And so my thing is, I think I'm just gonna give her most of my stuff. Like once I leave, like if I don't have most of the stuff I came with, I'll be okay, because I think she really needs it more than I do. Because I can do it again, because I'm just really good at like interior design and like finding things and things like that. So so yeah, unfortunately I do have a shit ton of shit.
Right. It's all good. It's all good. It is all good. Like, I'm standing with you on that. Like, and I really, really believe in it. I really believe in it. So yeah, just know that, and thank you for sharing that with me, because like I said, that goes deep for me. I had a friend of mine who lives in Tallahassee, who, like, he's born and raised there, but it is so not for him at this point. And with the time that I have, like, that him and I have been close, I'm like, oh yeah, you have to get out of there. Like, it's not even one of those situations where it makes sense as far as the happiness of your life to actually continue to just be there. But for him, it's the same thing. It's like, it's not an easy thing. So definitely easier said than done. But I was just thinking about when he shared it with me and all that I knew about him, I'm like, oh yeah, the best thing for you could definitely be an actual location change for your whole life. So yeah, it's
so interesting that you don't really believe in I'm not saying you don't believe in it, but you just don't follow astrology. Just because one of I have this app that talks about astrology and shit. And one of the things that they're saying, like, current time period, like what's going on in my life right now, is an expansion of home. And so the reason I say that is because you're always saying the same shit that these astrology people are saying about my life. And so it's so interesting that you don't follow it or anything like that. But
well, check this out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you
an expansion of home, whether it be an internal mind thing where I expand my mind and I'm more comfortable within myself. But also like that physical change of location, whether it be like just moving from one apartment to another, or from one city to another. I would personally like to go to another planet, but I'm not I'm not going to limit myself. So
look, me and you both, now that's the piece we're gonna be figuring out together right there, because I'm attached to that shit. I'm like, come on. They said in the optimistic nihilism video that I watched, where I was like, oh my god, I've finally found like the most appropriate way to describe how I feel. They were like, you could look at life as this most amazing thing, like you always say, like, look, you get the opportunity to live and do these things. Or you could be like, yo, this is the biggest practical joke ever that you would even give that you would even have the ability to know that this world is so vast, but yet you might only get a chance to experience this one place, especially when you're a person who likes to travel and shit, and you like to see and learn anything. So
that's why
it's funny, right?
I would say that's why with the thing I said about death earlier was like, I really feel like I'm just here to do what I gotta do here, and then once I die, I got other shit to do and other places to go to see. And so it's not that I'm rushing it on here. I just know, like, bro, this is about to run out, huh?
Right.
Like,
you just accept what is. So I'm gonna tell you something funny. All right, tell you two things funny. So you said I think it's interesting you don't follow astrology. So I'm gonna give you two things that might make you think about that like in an interesting way. So one, I do believe in it. I do follow it. I just believe that it's not just the things that you find in astrology aren't just relegated to astrology, which is why it would seem like I don't follow astrology just because I come across the same things, but I don't talk about them in astrological terms.
and that's what I love about that one app I have, because they do not talk about astrology at all. It's all based on what you put in there, your birthday and stuff. But all the shit that comes out after it, none of those words come out, like Cancer or Taurus or any of that ever comes out. So I love it.
So when I find things in astrology, I say, oh wow, I found another normal aspect of life, while everybody else says, look, this is special to astrology. So it seems like I don't believe in astrology, but it's just because I know astrology is all of life and not just astrology. All right, now here's the second thing. The second thing is I always believe in astrology when it's right, when it's dead on. And so during the times when it's not just because it is and isn't at the same time, it's just all the things, then it's that same thing too. So I told somebody the other day, because I studied astrology deeply, so you'll hear me from time to time say stuff like, yeah, this is because I'm a Taurus, or I got a friend who's really good with finances. I'm like, yeah, because she's triple Capricorn. Now, there'll be somebody else who's no Capricorn who has the same traits. and it'll be like, yeah, so it's just a thing. That's just what life is. And there are times when that financial thing lines up with a triple Capricorn, like astrology says. So that's the reason why it seems that way. It's because, and this has been what has happened to me through all my paths of philosophy, like whether it went with religion and spirituality and astrology, and even what we were talking about with the word perfection and stuff the other day. What it really feels like to me is I see like a world. I see a bubble, right? And within that bubble, you have all these things that we mind, all these divine things, all these amazing things. What I was inside that bubble and was in all of those things, and then something happened. I stepped outside of the bubble, and then I realized, like, oh, so within this, people know these things. People know what divinity is. They just relegate it to one thing. Like once they figure out a thing that they associate with it that actually has real value, they value it. One problem that comes with valuing, everything has its pros and its cons, is that sometimes you can value something so much that you forget that it's not the only expression of it, or that it is not just relegated to the thing that you value. But that's one of our ways of valuing it, is seeing it in that one thing. So that's what I realized. I'm like, oh, whether it's God or spirituality, or whether it's astrology, or whether it's anything, we know these things. We know them well. We just forget that they're not just relegated to the one area where we know it. So when somebody else either doesn't express it in that way, we don't think they know it or believe it. Or if they do, but they don't just keep it in that one category, they express it as everything and no thing, then we don't see it, and we don't see it. It's what it was my last. It was what I told you the other day was my last definition of God before I had no more use for the term. It was when I got to the air piece, but it was when I started describing it like, if you sit in front of a movie screen, so close. The movie will be like, the picture will still be there. It's just that you'll be so close, you won't know what you're looking at. And that's what I feel happens a lot of times with these subjects. We know it when we could quantify it, but as soon as it's outside of how we identify with it or think that where it's contained, we don't see it anymore. And so it makes, and I was like, oh, that's all there is to it. These things lead us to the deepest place, but there's a con that happens in all the time with that. And that's that we forget that this is either not the only place or not just relegated to this, or that is made up and we just quantify it in this way. We get lost in our own creations. So I do believe in astrology. That's why I don't talk about it. And that's why I just talk about life in the way that I do, because it's all just one thing, and I just don't relegate it to a particular field or particular one thing. It's just like, yeah, it's just life. And that's why I say serendipity plus intention. Last thing I'll say, that's why I say serendipity plus intention equals life, because what it means is, it means all the places that we say things happen for a reason, and all the places where we say things happen coincidentally. It's neither. It's just one thing. It's just all the things happening, the hits and the misses, so yeah. So I follow astrology more than it could probably be shown, and that's because I don't relegate astrology to astrology. I just call it life.
No, that's just so interesting. I just been recently learning a little bit more about different charts and whatnot, and I think it was a draconic chart that I had looked up. That it's just, again, I do everything through apps. Without an app, I don't know. I don't really go on the interwebs like that. But and I looked it up, and it kind of gave me a different, I guess, like a different just view of myself. And that one to me, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually how I feel about myself. And so it's just the more deeper I go into it, I'm realizing like, oh shit, like you realize like you're a very multifaceted person, and you have like so many different aspects to you of versus how you see yourself, how the world sees yourself, how you see yourself in the world, and things like that. And so it's just I've been really getting into it a little bit more, but I can't really like figure things out that way. So I do look at it the same way you do, is like, this is just life and how it is, and these whoever figured this out, because no one invented it, whoever figured this out really knew what they're talking about, and you can go into such a deep rabbit hole with it, like, and I think yeah, it's just so interesting.
I just came up with my next Facebook post. What up, kid? And it's based off of this moment right here, right? So I'll say it this way, and I'll figure out how I'm gonna word it, because I'm gonna try to word it as succinctly as possible. But here's the idea. The idea is that everybody who believes that they have the right definition of God, they're correct. They're just forgetting one thing, and that is that everybody else is correct as well. And that's it.
I think that I love that,
because it's no thing and it's everything. It's literally just like beauty. It is something that everybody defines in a different way, and that's the only thing we're forgetting. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, so yeah, life, all these things in and out. And what happened to me was I started studying everything. I studied everything. I studied every religion, every spiritual path. And then I started reading all the books. And then I started looking at life from every angle. And I was like, oh, we don't realize how much. It's what I now realize in psychotherapy. There are two things that make hypnosis, and psychotherapy. And that's just the power of suggestion and imagination. That's it. And we forget how much we use our imagination in order to help ourselves through. Because again, you have to believe in something in your imagination in order for you to manifest it, in order for you to walk in it. The problem is you can believe in it so much you forget that it was made up in the beginning, and that you made it up to help yourself, because they become one and the same thing. Course in Miracles said that shit. Course in Miracles was like, yeah, those that are creators, we're powerful, and the only thing is sometimes we were so powerful we forget that we're creators, that we're creating. It's the person who writes the movie, and that's why I say it's a wild thing, because if someone writes a movie and they have, now I have to say I have this characteristic. It's an interesting thing. I can literally, even if it's only for a couple seconds, I can experience something as if I've never experienced it before. And I often do this with like so many experiences in my life. I do this when I'm listening to music. I do this when I think about other people's perception of how they'll receive something or how they'll experience it. I get into their experience, and for like a couple seconds, it sometimes it can go longer, because I now, it's just what I've done. I've never thought about it. I can get into a place where I can experience something as if I've never experienced it before, and it gives unique information, you know. And so that's the thing that allowed me to like realize, I was like, oh, I see what's happening here. We figured out a lot of answers. We just have forgotten that a lot of what we call answers are things that we've created to help us through, and that other people create too. And we're all artists, and that's what we're all doing. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. It's like being out of the matrix and realizing there's a matrix, versus being in the matrix and just not knowing that there's another standpoint. So it's interesting. So it would appear, even because of just how you would define how I look at life or my belief, it would appear that there's less that I believe in. But what it really is I see everything that we all believe in, and I see how it's poured into a bigger container where all of it is correct, because all of it is made up. And there's no correct or incorrect when it comes to imagination. You're just creating. And we've created some shit that has helped us from time to time. But it also makes us miss the places where it is not helping us, or miss the places where it's just not correct. It just helped us through. It helped give us motivation. You know, it helped us to be in a certain mindset. So anywho, I can go on and on. Hey, Ken, if you'd like to come to the stage, bro, before we get out of this experience, let us say, hey, check in. And if not, bro, all good. It's good to see you, fam. I hope you're running on the treadmill of life, making it do what it do, bro. And I know you are, because you're Kim Briscoe. So good to see you, fam. Good to see you, bro. All right, Circa, I think I'm gonna go on and, you know, as they say, I don't know, what do they say? Don't you like when people say things where it's not an actual saying, but they make it seem like it? They're like, well, you know what they say? Pigs don't fly on Thursday unless they tie their shoelaces on Tuesday. You're like, what did that
that's
mean?
the people from the South. They be making all types of stuff up. I don't know what they be talking about. I just agree, like, You're right.
Right.
Because it is a Thursday. I don't care what day.
Right.
You're right. I don't know what they be talking about.
Me and my cousin joking, like, when we get older, we're just gonna do it literally just for shits and giggles, because we think that older people are actually doing that for shits and giggles, and we're the ones that's left out of the equation. They know that shit don't mean nothing. It's just that it makes you feel like they said something wise, and you be like, I don't know what that meant, but all right. So, all right, family. All right, well, I'm getting on out of here. I hope that you have the most amazing day. I'll be here on Sunday for 5M if you want to check in, and we can decompress some more and continue to cope with this thing called life. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Awesome. Yeah, you too. Hopefully I'll be on Sunday. I don't think I have any plans. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, I'll see you soon. Brother Ken, man, have a great day, bro. Hope to catch up with you soon, fam. Be well, everybody. Peace.
Bye.